hey, pick a side. We're at war now. Sorry, this is your notification. You've been drafted into the war of opinion.
Hell! Ass! Crap! Dang!
G on the trigger, in the trigger bar, go figure. Sound radius is short, but the weight's so easy to support. Some people hate bullpups, no matter what they do. For those who hate the bullpup, motherfucking bullpup hates you too.
The activities discussed in this video are for entertainment purposes only. Do not try to recreate anything you've seen here or break any local, federal, or state laws and then tell the government that I told you to do so. Because this is me telling you not to do so.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're all having a wonderful night tonight. While you're here, go ahead and hit the like, share, and subscribe button, as that is free and does help us out quite a bit. Tonight, on my right, we have Jonathan Piccone. In the bottom left, we have the one and only Dugan Ashley, who is busy building explosives in his shed. And, of course, in the bottom right, we have Chrisky, who may or may not need to leave at a moment's notice. So, before we get started, gentlemen, how is your night going so far? Oh.
Going well.
Awesome. Good to hear. Risky, how you doing?
We're doing good, hanging in there without electricity. Big old windstorm here in North Carolina, but
that's amazing.
Nothing we can handle.
And then Dugan, how are we doing tonight, sir? Uh-oh. Did we lose Dugan before we started? He's been having some connectivity issues. Pull that back.
Hey, John, I'm going to grab a beer real quick.
Oh, no problem. Yeah, go for it. Yeah, Dugan just teleported around the screen for a second and then dipped. So he's been having some connectivity issues. But tonight we're going to be discussing YouTube in general, some of the happenings going on with last couple weeks, I should say. And yeah, just kind of see where the night takes us. I really didn't have any topics lined up. We're essentially just, actually, Dugan might even blow some stuff up for us live if he makes his way back. But yeah, so let's go ahead and talk about you two guys. So, John, you used to be full-time, or not a full-time YouTuber, I don't want to say that, but you used to make YouTube content back in the day, had great rants on different things, and then kind of dipped out 2-3 years ago, was it?
Well, I pretty much just slowed down on making my vibration music videos. And then about 6 months ago, I just got off of YouTube because all my content was getting stolen and I was shadow banned. And well, I wouldn't say my content, I would just say my creative ideas and image. So I just kind of laid low and lived life out where Red Dawn was filmed instead.
Right. Kind of took a break from all the noise.
Yeah, man, it was just just toxic. And it's just like, I can't keep up. I don't have a cool computer. You know, I don't have a play carrier or suppressor yet, so I'm just not a cool guy.
You're not cool enough to make YouTube videos anymore. In 2024, it's all going to be out. Like we were talking earlier, build drills from 5 yards. That's everything, because that's what I do.
Yeah, build drills at 1.5 drills at 5 yards with a play carrier. I mean, it's cool, but it's just kind of played out. That's why I did my vibration videos, is to make a new video about something else and, you know, intrigue people into the gun.
Yeah, Dugan will try and get back when he gets connection again. Risky, how are you feeling about the state of YouTube in 2024? GunTube specifically.
Well, I think we're in for a change. It feels, I don't know about you guys, it just feels kind of stale right now. Which is weird. You know, the most interesting stuff in GunTube right now is more or less drama, which I don't think it's the best for the genre, but it is what it is. We've had not too many innovations as far as guns or accessories recently. LPVO versus red dot, plate carry versus chest rig, all that shit's played out. So it's kind of like, unless somebody has some brand new thing that we haven't seen before, it's just, I feel like we're kind of holding on to the same status quo. And, you know, not to go off into a diatribe, but that's one of the things I tried to build my channel around is I didn't, when I started it, I just wanted to put out certain pieces of content that I was searching for and didn't see. And once it slowly started to progress and I saw the views increasing and I was like, well, you know, maybe I should put out more content. It was something I thought of fairly early on that, you know, I'm not, my pedigree, if you will, is not substantial enough for me to rely solely on and make tactical videos, right? If you want to say that. So I was already thinking, you know, along with the algorithm changes, how can I still maintain relevancy if I want to do this at a higher level or for a longer period of time? And so I started talking about current events more. And so my channel was a little bit on the political side, some on the tactical side, some on the prepper side, whatever. But I felt like when times are tough, if you will, I could rely upon current events to maintain the channel, and I wouldn't just be, and then if I don't put out a gun video for a month, okay, well, I will when something relevant comes up. So I'm not just, you know, kicking a dead horse.
Right. Yeah, and I mean, I think that's a problem a lot of channels get stuck into, is that cycle of putting out like the exact same video every week, basically.
And you know, just taking a note from the live stream you did recently, the now infamous live stream, I feel like there's still so much out there that people want to view, and the viewers are out there, right? There, regardless of what anyone thinks about what's going on with Grand Thumb, the views are still there on this channel, right? The subs are still there. No new real interesting content, and I say that very loosely. I'm not taking a jab at any one channel, right? You know, like this channel, I enjoy your content. It's the most fresh thing going on right now. Vintage Warfare is great. Admin's still putting out some decent stuff from time to time. That's pretty interesting. But, well, you know, I said it last. So people still want to digest content, and every single person on YouTube in the tactical sphere isn't a Delta Force operator or Navy SEAL. It would be cool if we had more experience among all YouTube content creators that are gun influencers or gun tubers, but it's not realistic. And the demand is there. The supply is somewhat lacking. So of course, there's a ton of channels that don't get a lot of views that are new channels or smaller, and they might be a guy who has no experience putting out content. But, you know, can you blame the guy if he's getting views, if he wants to do it? It's like, who really cares? You know, anyone can put out content in this market. It's just, I don't really feel like anyone in GunTube is doing anything substantially interesting at the moment. And I feel like it's due to lack of innovation in the market.
You know what? Something I was thinking about recently was getting some really top tier shooters like Ben Staker, people like that, into actually producing like really high quality content for YouTube specifically, because Ben Staker's channel is awesome. Just like watching him sarcastically talk about products or respond to comments or whatnot, that's great. That is super entertaining. But I feel like you said, like a lot of us aren't super tactically aware, or we don't necessarily have the pedigree, if you will, to talk about things at an expert level. And so it would be cool if some of these guys did want to actually create good content for people to watch, because again, people will watch it, but they're going to gravitate to something that's more entertaining, right? So somebody earlier in the chat was talking about Charlie from Garantham, who just left to start his own channel, and his first video is like an ATF dog video, right? Which is like a meme from like 5 or 6 years ago that's been done 1,000 times. Now, the video is still a good video. It's high quality. It sounds good. It looks good. Charlie's funny. but it's the same thing that we've seen before, right? So there's not been a paradigm shift in the market of YouTube, if you will. Is my mic cutting out?
No.
Somebody's getting feedback. Wonder who that's coming from. Give me 1 second. I'm going to mute Jonathan. Hello? Did that go away? Oh, I think it's feedback from Jonathan's phone.
You found the culprit.
Okay, there it is. Yeah, it's a little bit of feedback coming from Jonathan's phone.
How about I'll mute my computer, and then when I need to talk, I'll unmute. How's that sound?
Yeah. Heck yeah. Perfect. That works awesome. No. I think we're good. Dugan, you're still muted, sir. Did you get yourself to a good spot?
Am I good now? Can you hear me?
We can hear you, sir.
Okay.
Did you just completely cut out inside your shop?
Can you hear me? It's inside of this device right now. Is the device functioning? Okay, good, because I've been wanting to talk to you about some important issues and matters that I wanted to discuss. How does that sound?
That sounds fantastic. That's what you're on here for, sir. You're going to carry this whole stream. The people aren't here for me. They're here for you.
Okay, great. Now, one of the things I wanted to discuss was that 45 ACP is a little bit lacking in the grain weight. And you could really get a lot more stopping power if you push those grades up a little bit. Maybe something like, I don't know, maybe 44 Magnum.
Is that your spiel? 44 Magnum 2028?
Sorry, I was waiting for a response.
No, I didn't.
Grain weight's great again.
That's right.
44 Magnum. Only the 1911 is superior.
I'm big. You know what? Recent controversy. So I've been shooting 5.7 for a long time. And 5.7, lately, 5.7 gets a lot of hate. I don't know what is going on because, 5.7 eviscerates. So I don't know what people are smoking in terms of, I kill animals with 5.7 and it just evacuates their skull of brains because it mimics the effect of high velocity 5.56 so much. But people really don't like 5.7 because of gel tests.
There is an interesting argument there about gel tests being very deceptive and ruining cartridges, their lifespans, because people don't pick it up, because they see a bad gel test from, X distance and they're like, oh, well, it doesn't perform well in gel. Therefore, it's not going to perform well terminally, right? And they're two very different mediums. Now, on 5.7, for taking out varmints and stuff like that, I feel like that's a great application for it, but I would not want... I'm in the kind of the hate 5.7 camp. For a handgun, I think 9mm and 5.7 do basically the same thing, whatever allows you to put holes where you want them faster. 5.7 might penetrate some body armor. It has a slightly higher capacity, but it's so much more expensive that logistically, for most people, I don't think it makes sense. And then if we move into PDWs or rifles... Now, unless you have access to full auto 5.7 PDWs, that's fantastic. But if I'm just running a 9mm carbine or something like that, I'd rather just have 9mm, or I'd rather have a short barreled 5.56, right? Because I think Smith & Wesson, they just came out with their 5.7 response carbine or something, and it's a 16-inch rifle, right? At that point, I'd much rather carry a 10.5 5.56 than a 16-inch 5.7. I think it has an application. It's just very niche.
Does the 5.7 perform out of a 16-inch barrel with terminal ballistics at all?
I'm sure it's fine.
It's low mass,
Yeah. And it's still I don't even know, out of a 16-inch barrel is probably doing what, 2,300 FPS? 2,400 FPS?
Probably more than that.
I'm not a 5.7 expert. But I know that a good 55 grain, a hot M193 out of a 10.5 or 11.5 preferably is doing 2650, with a much bigger projectile that can fragment.
So I felt like the 5.7 examination was always off in the weeds in the wrong direction. Armor piercing capability was always touted. Obviously, it's not going to perform there because it's not a rifle, right? And so like handguns always suck. All handguns suck. Anytime that you're, killing something with a handgun, it's always going to, perform under, much worse than a rifle. Where 5.7 comes into play is recoil, capacity, and weight, and your external ballistic profile. Because it's so flat, it really mimics within short distances. It kind of mimics 5.56. So like I used to shoot the Volusia County matches out there with Jack Luba, and they would have some days where we would do like bring your own wild gun, just like test it out. So we would do these matches with I went with like a P90 one time, so it's a 10-inch barrel, and then the you can hit with a suppressor on it, so you can actually hear the hits because it's suppressed, but you can hit, they were 300 meter, standard steel targets, no problem. So the cartridge is really and the holdover is very reminiscent of 5.56. Now where it really shines is the P90 is cool because of the capacity, right, and the rate of fire. It's also, a lot of people don't know, the P90 machine gun is probably one of the most reliable weapons out there. It's on par with an AK-47. So they just like, I've shot thousands of rounds out of the P90s. I've never had a malfunction, like ever.
Well, if I remember correctly, those are just straight blowback, right? There's no complex mechanism for them. It's just a straight blowback 5.7. Which that's with 5.7, you don't need that heavy of a bolt to begin with, so it's not like recoil is bad. Now, I actually think that's a great application, right? Full auto, 10-inch SBR, P90, right? High capacity, small, compact form factor. You see them still in use with like Secret Service and stuff like that, or an MP7, where I think 5.7 falls off for most people is again in like a rifle.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, rifles no good. I think the P90s were cool because it was just its own. I feel like the P90. It was like a solution for a problem that doesn't exist, so it's just this cool space gun. It doesn't really, it's a lot of firepower, but it's just like a small, heavy, high capacity weapon. Where it really made sense was a pistol, but FN blew it with their 5.7, so those old FN 5.7s, they were always, the weight was good, but they were bulbous. They were huge. They had way high, skyscraper height over bore, and the design was pretty cool. With the like the MMP, that MMP 5.7, like that's like a whole. Oh man, I love that pistol. To me, that is like the perfect application of 5.7 because you're going to extend range and you don't have any recoil. Have you shot one of those?
I've shot a 5.7 handgun once, but I've heard good things about the Smith & Wesson, and I know there's a couple others out there, isn't there? PSA has the Rock 5.7, which I haven't shot. I think the Smith
is incredible. Go with the Smith. It's incredible. It's really high quality, and you're going to be able to shoot. It's like shooting a 22, so you can fire it as fast as you want, and the rounds in terms of I'm not across the board advocating 5.7 to be used as a defensive cartridge, but if you kill stuff with 5.7 out of a short barrel, it does one of two things. It's either going to punch a hole like a paper punch, or it's just going to do some wacky, spiral stuff reminiscent of 5.56 in light grain weight. It's going to be one of those two, and if it does the second one, it's pretty devastating for a handgun.
Now, the only thing that, if we're comparing it against handguns, the biggest thing logistically for me, if I'm like, okay, I'm going to buy a 5.7, I'm going to get really good with it. All right, now I need to buy 2,000 rounds of ammo or something. It's
right.
Like, oh, great. Now that's, 4 times the cost of, well, not 4 times. I think it's gone down quite a bit. It's like 50, 60 cents a round on the low end right now, somewhere in that range, I think. So it's not horrible because it used to be closer to $1 a round. But I know AAC is making a load for it. You got Fiocchi, a few other guys. So it's not terrible, but it's still 2.5 times the cost of 9mm.
You're totally right. You're absolutely right. The cost is prohibitive. It's off the shelf as a practical cartridge. What I'm talking about is just in terms of, there's so many new iterations of guns that come out and, new, whoop-de-doo designs that, get released all the time, and a lot of them don't actually have, even with ammunition, with defensive ammunition. I mean, it's like the performance difference is pretty minimal. Relatively, when you really start to compare, like bodies on the ground and stuff.
Yeah.
There's not a whole lot of difference, right? Like there's lots of people that have been killed by FMJ 9mm, and there's lots. It also happens to kill people when it's jacketed hollow point, but the 5.7 extends range. So you can shoot that 5.7 pistol. You can shoot it. You're now with a sidearm, which always sucks anyway. You're never gonna have a good sidearm, but you're now doing a shitty job of shooting way farther with way less recoil, and you have 22 chances to be shitty instead of 17 or
15 or 17. Interesting. That is an interesting idea because it does extend the range because you have a much, much flatter shooting projectile, right? Because I mean, you're probably looking at like only a few inches of drop at 100 to 150 yards, whereas the 9mm at like 150, you have like a foot or more.
It's very similar to 5.56. I haven't looked at a chart in a while, and I haven't shot long distance with 5.7 in a while, but I remember just basically, copycatting 16-inch 5.56 holds and hitting stuff out to 300 meters.
Yeah, I'm actually looking at, I just pulled it up on AmmoSeek just to see what the low end of 5.7 was right now. And it's actually down to 42 cents a round on the low end. That's not bad for some of these online retailers. So, I mean, that's not horrible because, yeah, it did used to be a lot worse. So, I mean, now that gets me thinking about buying one of those Smith & Wesson 5.7s just because for my job, I have to review stuff. So it's like, well, I might as well pick something up and shoot something fun out of it, right?
There's probably be good for a new shooter, too, into a firearm because it's not a violent recoil either.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but what you were talking about there with all handguns suck to shoot people, right? So whatever you can put the most rounds where you want them the fastest. So essentially, what can you do to get rid of recoil, right? Because it doesn't matter if you shoot somebody. You're never going to have like massive cavitation with a rifle, right? It's never going to happen. You're going to be punching little holes through somebody. They're probably never going to be wearing body armor. If you're going up against people with body armor and you have a handgun, like your day's over, right? I don't think that's a winnable scenario with a handgun in any real situation. So the fact that 5.7 might penetrate some
with the 5.7. You might be able to get a headshot because it's so flat. You probably, I'm serious. I think it's easier to shoot at distances out to like 150 with a 5.7 on, like small, something sub 8-inch target. I think it's easier with the 5.7 than 9mm.
Yeah, I think that's something that I have to test now that you've brought me into that. Did you guys remember that the FK Bruno that did the opposite approach? Right? As opposed to making the smallest, lightest projectile go fast, they were like, okay, we're going to have a hand cannon. It's like 7.5 neck down cartridge or whatnot. That's shooting like a 100-grain projectile at like 2,000 feet per second or something like that. It was like a hybrid hunting / defensive system. I mean, I remember they were marketing it for like dignitary defense and stuff like that because it can actually punch through certain body armor, has a much longer range, can be used to take down bigger targets, stuff like that. I remember there was a big push for that on YouTube because everybody got like the same gun every 6 weeks that they just keep shipping it off to different YouTubers, and they had like this little window to make a video and then launch it.
I'm pretty sure I broke the rules with Primary Arms. They sent me the 6X Prism, and I used Proton Mail, and I made that public so people like viewers could send me emails and stuff, and I didn't want to pay for it, so I just had the free version, and I filled up my inbox or my memory way too quick, and so I was like, man, I got to delete some of these emails so I can make some room, and I accidentally deleted the conversations between me and Primary Arms. So I emailed my guy there, and I was like, hey, when am I allowed to release this? He's like, oh, you're okay to do it. And I was like, okay. So I released it. I think I did it like 10 days early, and then they won't talk to me anymore. And and then everyone released it on the same day. I'm like, yeah, we definitely got that wrong.
Well, no, that's just how you get ahead in the game. You just screw everybody's NDAs, and you just like, all right, I'm publishing it now.
I'm pretty sure that guy doesn't work there anymore, so I don't know if that's related.
I mean, that sounds about right. Social media managers are not long for this world. I feel like it's like the worst job imaginable to be cleaning up everybody else's messes all the time.
So speaking of YouTube and stuff, and just what have you been up to lately, Dugan? I know, at least I'm probably speaking for a lot of the people watching this. I used to watch you all the time, man, and kind of just I didn't know what happened. I at one point you just kind of I didn't know if you stopped uploading or if you had a new channel or something. And I've seen you just your name being thrown around here and there in the past 6 months or so, and I've been following you as much as I can just because I enjoy your content. What are you watching on YouTube these days? What are you doing these days? I know we all miss the hilarious videos you used to upload and the machine guns and the antics and everything.
Yeah, I mean, I've kind of migrated more into. I mean, I still watch stuff on YouTube, but it's a lot. I do a lot less time doing entertainment and more like teaching me how to do something. And I how do I do this? I'm gonna look this up. Somebody's done this, and I look it up. A lot of in terms of leisure time, I moved over to stuff like Discord. Have like a more direct contact and talk to people one-on-one. So I started doing that more. In terms of content, I pretty much ditched, I mean, Carnicon. I think I stopped doing Carnicon in like 2015, and it was at a balance where I was thinking about moving, jobs and moving areas and just seeing what opportunities were out there in terms of work. And I was really kind of I perceived the changes in YouTube in terms of censorship, which have really, they're really bad now. But it started all the way back. I mean, I can remember YouTube in like 2014, 2013. I used to make all my own music for Carnicon so that there weren't any copyright issues. And they would harass me and make me send like the stem files and stuff for the music and prove that it was my music, and it's not even, it's just like goofy, like Fruity Loops music, Fruity Loops Studio, and there's no reason to have to prove that you made that music, but they wanted to, because it was just harassment, and back then it used to be one-on-one emails. So I just used to have these belligerent emails where I would just basically scream at the person at YouTube, like, fucking idiot, about this stuff, and then now it's all automated. Now you can't even get a hold of anybody at YouTube. It's just like
you have to be like 2 million plus subs, and then you get like a dedicated person that you can reach out to. But it is, it's not easy to do so. A wild Cokeman. How's it going, sir?
The stream is we are now in full throttle here.
What are you doing, faggot?
And we're demonetized. No, I'm just kidding. It's fine. Yeah, you guys can. There's no limit on what you can or can't say here. If the stream goes down, it's up on Rumble right now, so I'm not too worried about it. But no, censorship is this thing.
Oh, there's a limit.
Well, yeah, no, you can get the stream taken down pretty quick, but if it happens, it happens, right? It'll be a wild ride until it does. But yeah, talking about that censorship stuff, there was this huge wave in like 2015, 2016, and then again in the next election cycle, 2020-ish. That was really bad, especially around the pandemic and all that crap. It was absolutely miserable for a while, and that caused, people were getting videos removed from years and years ago, and that's still happening now. But the one thing that I was expecting, I kind of expected to be completely offline this year on YouTube, depending on how the election went. But it ended up being like relatively smooth sailing somehow.
I just wanted to check real quick. Is everybody in the stream right now a pure blood? Do we have all pure blood? I want to make sure that we're compatible. Our parts are compatible. If we need to hook up a cord here, transfer some blood. I don't want any of that. I don't want any of that, bad blood, that mud blood coming through. I want that good old, pure blood.
I don't want any digital shedding on me.
I can get you pregnant. What do you think about that? I think that'd be good.
Can you hear me?
I think you'd make good babies. Let me
making noise.
Blowing DARPA gel snot rockets on the other side of the phone here.
I don't know if anybody can hear me. Am I making
I
any
hear
noise?
you.
All right, cool. So what's good, folks?
Unbelievable. More people are joining as we go along. A wild
There
hoplify.
he is.
The alcoholic Sasquatch. Sir, you look like you just got out of the rain.
That's just what I look like. Well, don't you feel insensitive now?
No, it's fine. Making fun of people's looks is like the number one easiest thing to do. So I recommend everyone do it at some point in their life.
Hey,
I was going to
Cokeman,
make
what-
a sucking cock joke, but I couldn't. I couldn't come up with it quick enough. But I'm sure your last guest probably yelling him at a screen right now, drunk as fuck.
We should do something controversial now that we got everybody in here. Let's do a controversial topic.
Yeah, like what?
The international banking system, gentlemen.
Oh,
What does everybody think about the Fed, the Federal Reserve?
I thought that was
Better work, boy.
I thought that was pronounced differently.
I'll tell you what, I will never rat to the feds. I'll tell you that right now. These colors don't run.
You know, honestly, speaking of Fed shit, I have a kind of a funny story. So it's not Interpol, but I had a buddy that was from the United Kingdom, and he came over to the States and did a bunch of shit, and we did our usual antics, and we shot a fucking Union Jack. And so he goes back home, and he likes to start shit on Facebook, of course, because that's what it's for. And he gets into it with this dude that reported him to the local police for inciting violence and shit online. And he got a visit from an actual officer. He recorded the whole thing, put his phone in his pocket. I listened to every fucking second of it. And the guy's like, hey, so basically, you know, you've been posting some sort of alleged shit online talking about fuck the queen and shooting the Union Jack flag. And, you know, I'm not saying, like, I saw the video. I saw what it was. I thought it was funny. But some people are concerned. And you probably shouldn't post any extremist shit like that online. And he got so fucking mad. He was like, why you come to my house? And it's like, bitch, you live in the fucking UK. You should have just been happy that motherfucker wasn't trying to fucking cut your head off.
Hey, I'm thinking of something I really wanted to know since we got you on here, Cokeman, and since you're elusive.
Yeah.
Can you kind of like give to me and whoever's listening, just kind of tell us like your philosophy and how, you know, because your video styles are so much different than anything, you know, I mean, somebody could stumble across your channel and have no idea what they're looking at, you know, they could just be like, I'm not watching this. And then just, you know, I'm not watching this and just move on. So can you kind of explain your philosophy of your art there?
Well, the main point is satire, basically. 9 out of 10 people that own a gun probably can't spell it. So that is what it is. But my main goal, well, initially I wanted to do like everybody else and make fucking like, here I have this thing and I've used it and here's what I think about it, blah, blah, blah. And after I got kind of tired of that, I mean, I'll still like doing that, obviously, but that's its own thing. As far as like the shit stirring or the whatever you want to call, like controversial, whatever, if you want to call it that, really, I just think it's a necessary element to have to any system that involves human consciousness. There needs to be an equalizer of some sort, an ego
drama
equalizer. Yeah, I mean, you know, yeah, just basically get people to pull their head out of their ass, which doesn't work, but it's fun to try. If it does work, hey, you get an extra bonus on top of the laugh. But no, I think that anyone that's a member of society should generally keep their fucking mouth shut.
I'm a member of society.
You can go online and say whatever you want, do whatever you fucking want. But if you don't have the awareness that what you're doing is incriminating yourself, number one, fucking, that's the number one fucking thing that I think is the funniest aspect of like all of this shit is the self-incrimination aspect of what people get online and say. But like the whole training argument or whatever that I like to harp on, I will still get on there and say this shit. Keep your goddamn mouth shut. If you like to fucking run drills, go run the fuck out of them. Have fun. Don't act like you're goddamn fucking getting prepared for some horse shit that's never going to happen. Frog met pot about fucking 100 years ago, chief. You don't need to get online and tell anybody. If they don't know that already, fuck them. That's my opinion.
It's pretty good. I feel like I know even less about Cokeman now.
That was way more.
That,
I was expecting some just absolute nightmare of an answer, but no, that was way more thoughtful.
No, it was good. It was good.
Yeah.
But that's not what the internet's for. The internet's for acting like fucking jackass retard and getting paid, huh?
Well, Cookman,
I just like that we're watching Cokeman as if it's like an old school Resident Evil game. It feels like we're watching him on the live via tank controls.
I know, it's perfect.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Tank cam, yeah.
Well, here's a good conversation that we never got to talk about last week, even though apparently that was what it was supposed to be about. But Ryan Parsons for $2 says, I need the link for Grand Thumb's Grindr account.
I'm surprised your video hasn't gotten taken down, honestly, if he's denying all that shit. That's the thing that's fucking wrong. Dude, literally, if that motherfucker would have fucking like got on right after you put your shit out and it got a good fucking 100,000 plus views, if he would have got on there and been like, all right, everybody, we're gonna go tip to butt. I like fucking, I'm fucking stupid, and you know, like I made mistakes and I didn't really care. It's just like, hey, just own the shit and fucking move on, dude. You'll be fine. You'll fuck yourself.
Can I dissent? Can I dissent here?
No,
I'd like to take this opportunity to dissent. So am I the only one that like I saw that what was that, a stream or was that a video? What was that? Whatever it was, somebody linked it to me on Discord and I started to watch it. Now, you know, I like Grand Thumb. I've talked to him, you know, a little bit before. I don't know him well, but I like him. Okay. But I don't know a lot about him, but I'm also kind of like a, you know, it's not my fucking business. Right. So when that video came out, I started to watch it, and then I mean, I was like uncomfortable. Like I was like, oh, like I felt like I was like,
yeah, I almost didn't watch because of the cringe factor. Like when I didn't
watch it when the calls came up, I was like, oh, I am gonna watch this. I mean, I don't think I think a public figure can be scrutinized, and it's fair game, right? But I just, you know, it was almost too. So granted, I don't really know what happened. Or the too long didn't read. I don't even know what's going on. So I don't even know the drama. I know that it involves some impregnation and some you know, some I don't know what, some people are upset.
He basically was just being a horn dog on the internet, like literally fucking everyone, except he had a wife and kids, and then played a different part in his videos. That's the only like
and
criticism.
That's the only reason I care is because of the hypocrisy element. So I've also talked to Garantha. We've talked for off and on for the last year or so. And I've done some stuff a long time ago as well. But I went to him first about all of this stuff, and then he kind of just denied it all, which I was like, all right, fair enough, you know, whatever. And then more and more stuff came out, and then I was talking to other people close to him, and essentially like, okay, so this is all just like lies and BS at this point. And so, yeah, it's just the hypocrisy of it all, because he'll go out and he'll talk about like dad advice and being kind to your neighbor, suing your neighbor.
John, let that be a lesson. Just at all the viewers, these young men, have dick discipline, dude.
Yeah,
just have dick discipline.
Yeah, guys. And if you don't,
finger discipline.
If you don't have dick discipline, then if you can't do that, then the second step is that you want to be Big Daddy Dick and own up to everything. When they accuse you, you want to be like, yeah, I did it. Yeah, I got 10 families. I'm setting up fucking franchises around here. What's the problem?
We need to Photoshop a meme of Grantham and the big black dude with his dick hanging down. You know the old meme? Big Daddy Grand Dick, something like that. That'd be hilarious. And if he owned it and then he made a video about it, that would be fucking hilarious. It was still like kind of not the right thing to do, but for fuck's sake, just do something different than what you're doing.
When you get caught doing something fucking wrong and you're a man, you goddamn fucking admit you were wrong. Say you're going to try to be fucking better, whether you do or whether you don't, doesn't fucking matter because you have a pair of fucking balls to admit it to begin with. God damn.
Yeah,
I don't know. Like, what a way to betray your audience of 99% true selves. Like, that's brutal, man. Now they know that you are a big part of the reason why they can't get any. It's because you're hogging all of it.
Hogging all the tang.
Well, he was hogging all the hogs. If you go even further into it, like it was just absolutely hilarious.
So I disagree. Gay incels can't catch a fucking break at this point.
There's 2 sets of wife and kids, plus an indiscriminate amount of other children that may or may not exist out there, which is always funny when you talk about dad advice because he actually might be the most qualified to give dad advice.
Well, yeah, man, that's what I'm saying. He's just doing what he's fucking biologically programmed to do. Fucking, what do you expect?
Well, yeah,
it's clear. I don't think he's gotten a lot in the past. I think when he hit his superstardom, I just think he was like, "Wow, I can get it now." And
well, I mean, imagine, like you're a fucking SEER instructor and you're fucking like one of the top fucking YouTubers, like. You know, you ain't fucking touching that ego, bitch. Starhopper can't make it to that motherfucker. You are out there at that point.
Do you? Is it true that his wife owns his company? So if they divorce, does that mean? How does that work?
So let me give you the rundown. Okay, for everybody that doesn't know, Grantham and his original wife and set of kids divorce very close to the time that he starts dating / marrying Ashley. All of the companies are in Ashley's name, who is his second wife that is now being divorced, to insulate Grantham from his first set of wife and kids so that she doesn't get those, right?
How many kids does he have?
5 from people he's married to.
Oh, God bless him.
Yeah, that's great. But anyways, yeah, so to insulate him from his first wife, great move, right? Great financial decision. However, now that he's divorcing his second wife, who everything is in her name, she's the chief officer and all of that sort of stuff of Onward Research. So I would not be surprised to see another company in Garantham's future.
Have we not confirmed or denied the fact that this may actually be an elaborate ruse, and he is building a child foot soldier militia to train and fight the New World Order? Combat
he went to
just don't get hook pots in the mix.
Battle the Sanhedrin. Is that what's going on here? I mean, it might be what's going on.
Little St. John's fucking mantra hopping real hard, baby.
That's pretty comment. You got to put that in. Yeah, I should say that.
All I know is I'm taking this opportunity to use that photo, and I'm gonna have my YouTube comeback under Garand Cum, and that's gonna be my photo. Is him, the big black Garand cock guy, right? So that's what we're doing. I got dibs on it. Don't y'all fucking take it.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, though, like, as far as controversy goes, like, you look at what everybody else at the top is involved in, and it's probably a lot worse.
I'll tell you what I did disagree with. I mean, I don't watch a lot of stuff on YouTube. I used to see links to Grantham videos. I've like hid them now. So now I don't see any Grantham offers from YouTube. But he had the one that was like, first he did like Ukraine Foreign Legion. And then he did,
that was a good video.
I didn't like it. I did not like the video. And then he did the IDF, and I was like, oh, okay. Like, get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. I'm not watching this stuff.
Yeah, there was a compilation out there of Grantham and the IDF soldiers and their advice put side by side with IDF soldiers getting like blown up in a building.
Oh, well, our advice is to just fucking literally shoot anything that moves.
Oh, yeah. They're insane.
That video of Grantham and his advice side by side with the IDF soldiers getting blown up was what got M26 Lemon Grenade, got him demonetized on YouTube. It's going after Mr. Garantham and those guys.
Wow.
Damn.
Well, because it was bad. Right.
The weird thing is Trump just got
Superman's
elected,
cape.
and he's pro-gun, and it would influence the gun culture and Republicans and all that kind of stuff and conservatism, and then it's just kind of a black eye to our culture in some way.
Yay, politics.
Yeah, but I mean, if we want to talk about Trump, I don't think Trump is pro-gun at all. I don't
Bro,
think
Trump is the fucking Antichrist, man. You ain't heard about that shit, man? Oh, ooh, yeah. Oh, everybody's the Antichrist.
I think Trump just isn't going to touch guns as much this time around because it was unpopular. I think that is really the only thing that he cares about when it comes to firearms.
Probably
he did the same shit before he got elected last time. He did a bunch of shit talk about guns,
I mean, yeah.
and then got in there, and then bam, there you go. It's all the same fucking shit. Like, politics is literally WWF. If you look at it,
It's worse
anything
than
other than that. Oh yeah, it's literally worse than that. Because at least with WWF, you're getting fucking shown something fucking cool.
Yeah.
Now
least
you're
somebody
just
gets
getting
to
lied
care,
to.
Slam.
You're just
Yeah,
getting
right.
lied to. It's like, don't you like it yet? Don't you like being fucking subverted and fucking pitted against each other? You fucking morons. You goddamn fucking cattle.
Well, the tell is, you know, like you alluded to earlier, man, this is going smoothly with the election, right? It's like, oh, it's going too smoothly, right? Like, this is not how.
Listen,
if something happened, a coup happened,
Now,
if
they
it's
wouldn't
on TV,
release power.
it's bullshit. If
I
it's
will.
fucking,
I'll just point out, like 5 years ago when I was losing my mind with, like brain lesions there, going bonkers. So I put out a lot of videos where I said, so this would have been like, I don't even remember when this was. Probably it was after Trump got elected, before Biden gets elected. And then when Biden first got elected, I was like, Trump is going to come back. Like Trump, the establishment is going to put Trump in, and that's what's going to happen. So like, I wanted to predict it like years ahead. And we had some live streams where I said that with guests and stuff, and they would be like, I don't know. Like, I don't think that's going to happen. It looks like he's, like gone. And I was like, yeah, of course it fucking looks like that. Because that's what the media is showing you. The media is showing you that like everybody hates him and that he's going down and all, this is like, this is building up opposition that isn't real, like if the people that run the media are the people that run you, they can make it look like you're the biggest underdog in the world. And then you don't actually have to have any opposition. So I just went ahead and predicted it, at least, I don't know how long, 5 years ahead of when it happened, and then it fucking happened. And it's for the reason, the way I knew it was going to happen was because you could tell in the media cycle that they didn't make a new conservative figure. The only conservative figures that were getting floated around were like DeSantis and I don't know who else, a couple other ones, you have maybe like the Cotton guy, maybe like Josh Hawley or something like that, but they're young guys. So there wasn't any, they didn't pour their chips into some archetype figure that they start promoting in the media to be the right hand while they go to the left hand. They didn't do that. They just left it at Trump, and then they just moved over to the left hand and just started, put Biden in there, start doing this fake ramp up with the left. And so watching all this happen and realizing like they don't have anybody to replace Trump, like there is no, they would have to build up an entire character and background to get the American people to even, want to elect a new guy, and they just don't have time. So I was like, I know they're going to do Trump, and it came in.
What's crazy about that is I was watching this week some older podcasts. Jonathan, you were actually in one like 3 years ago with Freedom Inc. I was watching that podcast today, talking about, there was a section in there towards the end with him talking about how Trump is going to win in 2024. And just listening to that today, I was like, oh, these guys were on something, because I wasn't even paying attention that much back then. But it is funny to see like people who like recognize patterns, noticers, if you will, can kind of see where things are going. And he even predicted the whole like Biden stepping down, Kamala coming in, and then losing in the general to Trump. All of that. It was just like hilarious that this video with no views on it from 3 years ago predicted basically everything perfectly.
If you pull your head out of your ass for, a good year or two, and by that, I mean, don't consume media, don't fucking just separate, detach. Yeah. You can fucking literally, that is what
Shake loose from the Matrix.
Well, I mean, it's like we go back to remote viewing, psychic phenomenon, random number generator tests that the CIA did, tons and tons of things that can. I don't understand it. I don't know, but there is a hive mind consciousness, I think, to humanity. And when you separate from the manufactured influences that you get shoved down your throat every day through CNN and Fox News and Forbes and New York Times and blah, 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 name them fucking whatever. If you could separate from that and observe natural human behavior in public, you could literally get to the point where you can predict things. That's what psychic people are people that are not fucking going and jumping into the crowd of consciousness that occurs with society. That's where we fucked up with the Industrial Revolution. That motherfucker was right. I'm not saying to send shit in the mail to people, but he was right. All day. And you can become so much more human by separating yourself from the pool of humans.
I got a story about this. So when I was in the Army, I was stationed in Germany, so that would be like the European theater for line units. And they only have AFIS television over there. So at the time it was like 2006, 2005. So you had like, you had Razor flip phones, right? There were no smartphones. Nobody had smartphones. There was MySpace. Facebook wasn't even, the colleges had Facebook, but it hadn't proliferated yet. That was
when Tom was your only friend.
Right. When Tom was your friend, right? Yeah. Everybody's on MySpace. Nobody had any fucking idea what kind of, hell paradigm was going to come out of all this dystopian shit. Like people just didn't see it then. And, man, they have AFIS television there, which is, it's Germany. So it's all German shit. So then, I don't speak, I'm not Sprachen Sie Deutsch and all that. And so, I'm forced to go to the chow hall. And then if I want to watch TV, which I'm already conditioned to do, right? Like watching movies since I was like 3 years old, like watching TV, watching movies, cartoons, movies, fucking rated R movies, Predator, watching all this stuff. And then I got into the Army and suddenly none of that stuff existed, and there wasn't streaming services yet. They didn't exist. And it was just at this weird time. And the AFIS television was all there was, and it would play in the background, and I hated it. And not only was it, not entertaining, but it was so far, you could tell that, looking back at it now, these are just like technical people in the Army making an entertainment channel. So they have none of the complex understanding of psychology or manipulation or the skills that come into normal media. So they don't employ any of that. It's just like watching a really cheesy public access channel. And after seeing that for a few years, it was like when I got back to the United States, when I PCS'd back stateside, like after Iraq and stuff like that, it was like getting off a train and then the fucking train kept going and I could never get back on. Like it was, I wasn't sure exactly what was wrong, but like when I came back, I was like, this is like the society has moved on and it's weird. Like this is a weird direction. It's unnatural. It's
Shit
not
took a
where we
fucking
should
dump
have
in
gone.
2010. They fired that fucking particle collider and something happened.
CERN.
That's my woo-woo theory. Because literally when they fucking fired that thing is right around the time everything just went fucking bonkers.
But if you disconnect from the stimulus, it has a profound effect. It makes
Very
you
much.
unable to, you can't stomach it anymore. You just can't.
Well, you can literally predict the future. It's fucking, it's honestly scary. It's some fucking spooky effect shit.
Hey, Cokeman, do you think that there's a possibility, since all these humans are pretty easy to steer, that AI could be a part to navigate it?
It is. It already is. It's been that way for probably 20 years. The singularity occurred already when I forget what company it was. Google had something to do with it. They had their quantum computer, once they fired up that quantum computer and let it loose onto open source material to absorb and do its thing. I mean, we've got open source AI right now. All that shit that we're seeing right now, that's all fucking kindergarten shit. The real shit got loose. The whatever you call it. What do you call that shit? Fucking Rocco's basilisk. Yeah, that's basically what we're dealing with.
Did you see in Switzerland? I think it was today or yesterday. They have a church there that's letting you confess to AI Jesus.
Wow.
Just happens to be in Switzerland, speaking
Nice.
of CERN, right?
Well, those dudes are all fucked up. They have a statue of fucking Shiva in their facility, so that's all I need to see.
Hey, well, Trump has Swiss bloods. Elon Musk has Swiss blood.
They're all related, dude. Jesus
Yeah.
Christ. The fucking royal family is literally fucking so
I
goddamn
don't-
inbred, it's not even funny.
I don't buy the royal family Swiss, Vatican Swiss. I don't buy any of that stuff.
I think they're
just-
ancient. I do think there's some validity to bloodline type shit. If you go back
sure.
and look, like they go back to fucking Egypt. Like it's deep.
Oh, Nephilim bloodlines? Yeah, bro.
Pretty much. Pretty much.
I just look at the motherfuckers that are in charge right now, influencing society and causing trouble. Like the, Pornhub and the.
Well, we have to be careful
Media.
on what we assign as the reason for where we're at, because naturally the easiest thing to do, Occam's razor, if it can be explained by human stupidity, that's probably the reason. That's why there's most likely no fucking world counts. I hope there is. I honestly hope there is a group of billionaires, trillionaires, whatever, people with maximum influence getting together, trying to figure out how to prevent our species from annihilating itself. If that's actually happening, I don't give a fuck what the result is. Honestly, like I'm not on that fucking council, but if there is a council, I hope the fuck there is.
I think that if everything that happened in the first Deus Ex game was true, you think like, oh, what a dystopia. But no, that is the good ending. The bad ending is the one that we're living in right now, which is that there is nobody at the reins. This is just human nature run completely fucking rampant.
God, check the fuck out, Chief.
We need Cokeman in charge of the new cum council.
To quote every YouTuber's favorite movie of all time, God left this place
fucking
long ago.
charge. I'm fucking annihilating everything, and we're going right back to Mesopotamia, bitch.
It's time for the reset. Hey,
Oh,
man.
No, you guys gonna name check Uncle Ted, but I don't think he went quite far enough. I don't think it was the Industrial Revolution. I believe personally
If he
that it was the
wouldn't have
agricultural
fucking
revolution.
tried to blow people the fuck up, he might have actually got somewhere. But I get it. I get it. I'm not fucking fixing to go out and try to fucking help nobody. Fuck you. I figured my shit out a long time ago. You can kiss my ass.
What's the next topic?
Well, Matt, how's it going? Primary and secondary.
Good.
Great.
Landfair is here.
Subscribe. Yeah, Matt just showed up. So I thought he came in at the perfect time, right in the middle of
Pedigree.
ancient civilization bloodline conversation. So I think
Just
that's
in time to take a header off of a brain cell seeking missile. How you doing, Mr. Landfair?
Good. Hop, are you doing okay since last week?
Oh man,
Are you still
it's been
recovering?
a week.
Actually-
It's been a week full of suffering and rejoicing and everything in between.
So, Hop, I do actually want to ask you about that because you were the internet's antagonist, I suppose, for that, or at
He's
least
the hero.
half the internet's. Well, I was gonna say half the people are gonna look at you as a hero, but also I had so much hate in the comments for you specifically on that. So I was wondering what has the fallout been for you since last Friday?
I'm sure there's been a split. I would be shocked to learn that it was 50-50.
No, I don't think it's 50.
Look,
Not for my.
when those things happen, it's perfect because it calls out all of the nonsense. It's like, all right, go the fuck on then. I'll keep my little echo chamber. It just fucking seals that echo chamber up so good.
He was the hero we deserved, not the hero we want or need.
I have a lot of thoughts, a lot of follow-ups. to that experience. But also, I mean, I also don't want to necessarily make assumptions about something that a person said when they were close to blackout drunk.
Good point.
I would hope that people would extend me the same
That's
courtesy.
reasonable.
There is, you know, there's kind of like a bit of a binary there. It's that whenever you're at a party and other people are drunk and you're sober, well, that's not very fun. So you got to get drunk in a hurry so you can actually enjoy the experience. So that was part of it. And the other part of it is that it's like it's not sporting to beat up on a drunk guy when you're sober. So you've got to level the playing field so that you can feel good about yourself the next day, even if you
Which
feel
one are
awful
you,
about
though?
yourself the next day. Well, first I was the one, and that was the other. That was the whole point of the
Okay.
experience.
So for me, I've had a lot of people from Matt's side reach out to me, phone calls with different people about different stuff, trying to explain his side better. And I'm going
I'd like
Matt,
to hear it from Matt. I don't want to hear it from
I'm going to
Matt's
have
orders.
Matt
Not
on the
this one.
channel. Yeah,
Can we get the TLDR?
strange. TLDR on the events or the
This
people.
the situation.
I don't think it's possible to summarize his position because
Oh,
it
it
changed
is.
every 5 minutes and contradicted itself constantly the entire
Oh, it's
time.
very easy. It's
So-
simple.
I think he was annoyed with LARPers, to just put it generally, and then he said he didn't know who Hop and Brass were, and he got really annoyed with them quick because he just focused everything onto them.
Oh, you didn't sign your life away on a dotted line to jump out of planes
fair,
for
man.
Israel, baby. Fuck you. Your opinion doesn't matter.
We're like in the bottom 5% of YouTube channels. There's just that, you know, there's that much crap out there. So it would be weird to expect anybody, even somebody
When
extremely
he
invested
fucking
in the
started
industry,
going
to
off,
know
I
who
was
we
like,
are.
Yeah,
I was
think this is-
generally confused. I was like, fucking like, wait, is this dude being funny or is this like jovial?
Yeah,
And
I
then
didn't
he
know
kept
what
on
got him
going.
triggered. Was it
And I
like
was like,
some old
holy
man?
shit.
He didn't.
I
need
was
a
not
phone
expecting
call.
him to call you a cocksucker.
Yeah,
I did
yeah.
not expect that.
He dropped the F word a couple of
100%.
times.
Like that's some bullshit fucking faggot ass woke. Like, dude, we're different ages. That's just a different in ages. You think I fucking am not Second Amendment because I said something bad about him?
That's not what
You're
I'm
a
saying.
fucking pussy, dude. Like that is the weakest fucking argument.
That is not what I said. I said
Yes, it is.
You-
No, because I
He called
don't,
Trench a pussy.
that I'm not
you don't
pro
have to
Second
like
Amendment.
his content.
Well, what I'm saying then is not pro 2A. That is
No,
complete fucking bullshit.
Yeah, so
100%.
There were some better blowouts there. It was.
I want to know what was in that bottle.
It was a brake cleaner.
So was there accusations that somebody wasn't 2A? Is that
Oh shoot! I still have this up. I'm stupid.
Basically, he was like, you didn't serve, you didn't fucking bend over for Uncle Sam, so you don't know what you're talking about.
got it?
Literally.
I hate military guys that talk like that. I fucking hate it.
It's pathetic. Literally, all of them never did a goddamn thing other than serve a fucking pile of goddamn carbohydrates to another retard that fucking didn't graduate high school.
Yeah, so essentially there was some bad arguments going around. Brass was trying to be very reasonable and push on a specific point, and Matt did not
He
want
just
to
fucking
engage,
lost it.
He kept circling around, and again, he was very drunk. He was in a bar 20 minutes before when Ben invited him on, and then Ben dipped out before Matt kind of went nuclear, which I thought was fun.
I think it was destined to fail on his end, man. Because like and I don't care. Who cares if the guy's drinking, right? Like, but that in conjunction with it felt like he had a chip on his shoulder about YouTube or gun tubers specifically. I don't think he really cared whether they're military or not, as you could see how he was talking to Trench. And I think it was just all over the place. He was just drunk, and he didn't understand the context of what he was even doing on YouTube. Because specifically, I remember he said something about
Breakfast?
LPVOs or LVPOs, right? And how Top shot 2,000 rounds on this LPVO, and he's like, and I've shot 10,000. It's like, yeah, it's on one LPVO. He fucking reviews LPVOs, bro. Like, how much? Add up all the LPVOs, and it's probably more than 10,000. Like, what are we even talking about here? This is like, it is sort of the reason the milk's gone bad on GunTube is shit like this.
It's gatekeeping. It's literally gatekeeping.
I think you got to have some gatekeeping. I mean, even
Oh,
if it's
you should.
Sure,
you know?
sure.
I mean, that's
People
just
are
being
overly
passionate.
broadly
He's a
applying the
passionate-
term.
The problem
passionate
is
thought.
that people that can or should gatekeep don't because
Yeah,
it's
that's right.
inherent in the fucking thing. If you're an average human being that hasn't been through basic training or theater or whatever, fucking, and you're getting a video camera and getting in front of it and posting it online, like, you've got deficiencies somewhere in your life, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. You know, I'm sure there are plenty of normal people that fucking, you know, like to make YouTube videos in their spare time or whatever as like a little side project or whatever. But 9 times out of 10, you're probably working with some form of I don't want to say mental illness, but it can be determined as mental illness, I guess. And
Pure
it's
unadulterated gun insanity.
I mean,
Are you saying yelling at my phone in the middle of the woods with a hockey mask on is wrong?
No, that's a
Unbelievable.
positive thing.
I
It's a
think
lot
he
more
was just-
positive than yelling at somebody at Burger King.
Pure expression of the Second Amendment than skitzing out every time Wolfman tries to sneak up on you while you're recording a video.
Hey, you ain't seen Dog Man. He's real.
He's a homosexual. I
I
heard.
hear talk.
I only believe in the things I can see.
Mm-hmm.
He's extra dimensional.
Wow.
I don't know what I was trying to say, but you can go ahead and fucking switch topics.
I love this.
Yeah,
shit.
that was a wild one. Trench Grenade did actually hand me a grenade with that live stream because that was
I'll
not
tell
my.
you,
That.
You just reminded me. The trench grenade. I saw one video that he made one time, and it was about grenades. And he was like talking about M67s, like giving facts on them. And he was talking about, like, he said that they were like, I mean, I can't remember. I think he said they were like 4 pounds or something like that. Like, that
I
is
thought
not,
they were 2. They're 2.
They're less than a pound, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're small. They're lightweight, so you can throw them really far.
Yeah, they're meant to be thrown.
Yeah, if they're 4 pounds, like, you're not throwing that. I mean,
No,
you're
like a
just throwing
fucking
short
pineapple
distance.
grenade don't weigh that much. Probably.
No. So it was just like this weight was totally off, and I was like, you don't know anything about grenades. Why are you telling people about grenades?
Again, that dude said he's never been in war, but he runs his mouth about being in the military.
Well,
That's what I don't understand.
Anybody who's deployed and carried fragmentation grenades is going to remember the weight, and they're going to remember the magazine weight. You know,
Well, I
of a
just don't
5.56
understand
and the hand
why.
grenade. They're not going to make that mistake.
I don't understand why somebody would have no. I mean, unless you get out there and say that from the get-go, like, hey, I was in the military, I went through basic training, I never fucking shot at anybody, I've never been shot at, here's what I think. But people fucking that are literally just have BT on their fucking belt come out and act like they're fucking or not even that. Like Lucas fucking Tactical, honestly. Like that kid, I won't even get started on that. But dude, like, my God, man, you're poking holes in fucking cardboard, Chief, on a flat range. You're not doing nothing.
It's
You're
all
pulling
different
triggers.
when you got to sit in a tower with a guy you don't like for 8 hours, sipping water that's 120 degrees, or go walk for 20 miles.
That's
Man, I don't want to talk to somebody I like for 8 hours straight. So the idea of just getting randomly assigned somebody and it's like, well, this is my day, man. That's why I never joined the military. It's because I didn't want to have to talk to people that much.
That's the big thing.
You know-
the big problem with promotion of like how the military is promoted through social media is that through like special operations, people just get such a skewed idea of what like services and what it's going to be like, especially in a time of war. Like, it is overwhelming. I mean, everybody's going to have a totally, they're going to have different experiences. But like being in the military is like, you're going to go through some of the worst I mean, at least it used to be. It's probably better now, or it's probably different. Not better, but change. It's less hard. But you're going to go through humiliation. You're going to go through, like terrible. I mean, there's terrible shit that happens to people in the military all the time. I mean, some people, maybe there's one or two guys that are having like a, they just have, it's just great. And they just woo.
I forget that one. Like, there's some fucking installation in Colorado. I forget what it is. It might. No, and it's not Fort Hood. That's in Texas. There's somewhere in Colorado. There's a military base. They have a fuck ton of like seriously dark shit going on over there.
Yeah, man, it's everywhere. It's like that. I mean, I'm good.
Like they cover up suicides. They cover up rape. They cover up all kinds of shit.
Unit, I have so many people from my unit that are like, not good. Like people died after the war, and like just fucking living hard, man. Like people just losing their minds and stuff. I mean, and that's a really common thing. I mean, multiple units. I've had like my last commander from Tradoc was like, he was like so you're talking like Ranger, Sapper, Pathfinder. He's got all the schools. He's just totally, respected. Like I respected this guy. Fucking shoots himself. You know what I mean?
Damn.
With kids, with like 5 kids. You know what I mean? So this stuff is like, I mean, I don't understand it exactly, but it's dark and I guess I understand it. I think there's, it's a negative. There's a lot. It's a negative experience for a lot of people, and it's definitely not like. I mean, I don't feel like it's. I don't feel like my combat experience is represented all when I listen to like podcasts and interviews with like special forces operators. Like I'm just like, man, you're just having. Yeah. It's like Candyland, man. Like you're not like accidentally murdering any civilians. That's not happening at all, because like that happens.
Well, those people are either liars. They're liars or sociopaths. One or the other. You fucking get the same result.
Yeah, I mean, it's. I don't know. It depends on the war. I'm sure like Ukraine war is like next level in terms of bad experiences.
Fucking
like, even
Christ.
The Iraq war, I mean, that shit was like, it was hot.
It's the same principle. It's the same principle of the evolution of warfare, where you don't know where your enemy is because your enemy is not your enemy anymore. It's a fucking robot.
Yeah, I agree, Cokeman. I think the drones is changed the face of adaptation. To
I mean, artillery was what drones have now become, essentially. It's just a more precise form of artillery, an extremely precise form of artillery.
And that kind of goes hand in hand with, if there is a fucking main theme of anything tonight, like YouTube, the gun sphere, right? Like, what's next? What's been unexplored? Well, for one, explosives, and then 2, countering these drones and taking the tactics up a notch and just kind of exploring that. I think that might be where the trend goes, especially with
birdshot and thermal,
the climate around the world.
Thermal shielding is really all you can do.
I can tell you what I think it's so in terms
or
of
jam them
offensively with drones, like you're going to see drones are just going to like, I mean, the situation right now with Ukraine and Russia is that they just can't make enough explosive drones, so they can't make them enough. They're just using, I mean, they're 24/7 in rotation in the air, hitting targets all the time. There's just so many targets to be destroyed. I'm talking both ways, that it's 24/7 and it never stops. Like they've always have teams on rotation going in and out of OPs and switching shit.
And meat shields going up against units with thermals and fucking javelins, and
they got a van with 100 drones loaded with explosives, all programmed to controllers, and then they're just gonna cycle them one after another, hitting targets all day, and then they're just like doing this every day. And you're starting to see you started to see in the beginning of the war, you would see drone corrected artillery, where they're using artillery to spot, and then you started to see the suicide drones, the dropper drones. The other one that's big is going to be, I think you're going to have like the use of reconnaissance drones for like room clearing, but also weaponized reconnaissance drones for just going into a building and then just killing whatever.
The military just picked up that contract for those little Dragonfly drones that are like fucking $250,000 a piece, and they're about the size of a fucking
Dragonfly.
Pin. Yeah.
Hey, speaking of, was that a drone that landed on Pence's hair, or was that just a real fly? What the fuck was it? I saw something saying that was a little mini drone, but I don't know if it was just bullshit or not.
I didn't see it.
It was an interdimensional
I think it was
reptilian
just a sign that the
drone.
man was a reanimated corpse that had actually been dead for several years at that point.
Pretty much. They all are.
Hey, John, I have a question for you. What do you think would be an adaptation or upload you could do about something that could be implemented with drones for the novice or beginner? Because people really haven't got the reality of the futility of drone warfare.
Jam them. Jam the fuck out of them. Get a jammer.
Yeah, so that's something that I want to look into, because I actually know some people that are actual drone operators. I'm not a drone operator. I'm a drone crasher. I've ruined every
I
drone
got to
I've
piss.
ever had. But I think that is a very interesting topic, because that stuff
Cokeman,
is
you forgot to switch to the bathroom camera. Oh, he's gone.
that stuff is the stuff of nightmare, though. It's like watching a guy burn all of his ammo and just give up at the end. He throws his gun at the drone and then it's over, right? That is the stuff of nightmares. Seeing that happen. I've seen the new Russian drones that are coming out, and you see them just stacked up because they're designed to like stack up into each other, and you can fit like hundreds of them in like these little tight spaces. You could deploy them, like you said, in a van or a Humvee or something like that, and you could have like an unlimited supply, and you just keep launching them all day. I've seen the fire drones for getting people out of buildings, for getting them out of like tree lines and stuff like that, so they will actually just like, you know, whatever it is that they're using to ignite tree lines or brush or whatever it happens to be, to actually push people where they can eliminate them with either other drones or actual direct fire measures, right? So that sort of stuff is very interesting. I would actually want to talk to drone operators and, or if possible, people that have had real world interactions. Over the last couple of years, we've seen some like electronic countermeasures in like handheld guns. If they're like, you know, some of the trade shows and stuff like that, you'll see them where you can essentially point at a drone and get it to land.
Really?
Let me interject. So I want to call out, just for record, on this live stream right now, I want to call out what I think is going to be the ultimate solution in one way or another. It's going to be this technology. It's going to be an explosively pumped flux core generator. Okay, so it's going to be a power generator that is powered by explosive force, closing a circuit that's already pre-charged, and then it's going to, you know, dump huge EM, you know, within a close proximity of the charge. I think they're going to turn it into a round because, Los Alamos has some, you know, they did most of the work on the flux generators, but they're, you know, it's been a while. I don't think they've done any of this for drones, but it just makes sense. I mean, if you put it into a grenade launcher and if you get an airburst function that is accurate, where you can,
that'd be beautiful.
Select a range, aim at it, pop. Like you will put an EM in the sky. You will put, you know, electronic interference in the sky that will drop. Like it will drop the drone. It won't even. It'll go through the entire circuit board. It won't even have the ability to do RTH, like return to home with GPS.
You know, I think I heard that there was some sort of jammer technology that would make it to where if a drone would fly into the range of it, that it would literally just shut the drone off and make it land. I'm not sure.
Sure. So there's different types of signal generators that will overcome, you know, the transmission signal, and then
they hijack it essentially.
It's just outcompeting. They're outcompeting, but then, you know, a lot of the drones will have, you know, I mean, they can be programmed. They can be pre-programmed to go to a target and hit without commands. They can be, you know, in some cases for FPVs, sometimes they put GPS on there so that they can get returned to home. A lot of times for droppers and suicide drones, they're not going to do that because you can accidentally bomb yourself when it goes RTH, you know, explosive drone back to you.
Real boomerang.
Yeah, boomerang. Right.
See, I thought Dugan was going to talk about the ultimate defense against drones, and it's a badminton racket. But then I realized, oh wait, I actually know Dugan. He's a really smart guy. He knows about this stuff. I'm telling you. I think it's far fetched because, as far as I know, there are no designs or you know, attempts that I know about. I haven't heard anything in the weeds about it for an explosively pumped flux core generator. But I think that is the technology that is going to turn into a launchable round that's going to airburst
probably exists for
knock the shit down.
DARPA's
it's probably just going to increase. if you look at just how things started and where they're at now, as far as the drones and the conflicts that we're privy to, is it not logical that we're going to, and they're already doing it. They're radio direction finding. They're using other technology to hunt these teams that are forward deploying and using these drones. So then they're going to have to either launch a whole bunch at once and just dump them, and then get out and then be pre-programmed, or they're going to have to send large volumes of them from farther away or larger, more secure areas. So half the battle is hitting those ones that are already coming to you that are suicide drones, more or less, they're not going return to home, or it's going to be targeting where they're coming from. And so I'm worried that it's almost like it's going to be, and it's sort of like this now, but like the new evolution of trench warfare, right? But the trench, while it might exist the no man's land, it looks different than it did in the early 1900s
because we have satellites.
Right? Yeah. But there is no man's land, and you have to be in cover and concealment because the things are fucking everywhere.
Well,
it's different.
What's interesting about the drone technology and its effect is that, as far as I understand, from what I can see, the front is extended. So both directions, the effect of drones, of having drone saturation, that sort of Air Force capability, it stretches the front. So like your no man's land and the distances to the front line, to actual front lines,
20-30 miles.
I think they're smaller than that. I think it's like 5 to 10 in a lot of places, but that's like way deeper than it used to be in like World War I or something like that. They're really extended.
And it's probably cut in half in some areas due to the fly-by-wire stuff that you can't RDF or anything like that.
Yep. We are experiencing quite a precipice in our evolution.
Oh, it's going to get intense, I'm sure.
Well, we got front row seats to the fucking whatever happens. So
it's actually a good thing that we had 20 years of uninterrupted war, because at least those guys got to have a good time, because war sucks now.
Yeah,
it used to be awesome,
no shit.
And now it's not. So
it provides a pedigree, though.
Like, I'm not gonna lie.
Count your blessings that you got to go to war back when it was still cool.
Dying in theater from a man holding a rifle, looking at you, firing at you is one could look at as prestigious. Now it's just, you're just some fucking retard in a field that got blown up.
At least back in my day, you got to heaven and St. Peter would shake your hand. Nowadays, he's just like, I don't even know, man.
Yeah, get it. Yep.
What if AI gets
just keep moving? Just keep it moving.
What if AI gets hold of the drones instead of Terminator 2 with the T-1000?
Dude, I hope we get Terminator. I hope we get fucking Skynet. That would be so much more fun than what we're fucking getting.
I think that's also a logical other possibility, is that it gets out of control if there is a World War type spread out usage of these drones, and we have to rely on them doing their thing because of what we were just talking about, is pressing that easy button, right? And turning all the shit off, whatever they got to do.
I don't think
even if it's in a large area.
I think
not to like weeb out too hard on you guys, but this I think is kind of the general plot of the whole Gundam franchise, which is that like war got so advanced that they had to just pop a massive like universal scale EMP, and they're just like, all right, no more radios, no more AI, no more computers. We're just doing it by hand from now on. So
it's gonna be like Blade Runner.
I don't think
if they can pull that off based.
I don't think that's what they want to do. I think the AI, them having access to all, I think they want that. But as a default, I think they'd be willing to burn the fucking world down before give up power or lose control.
Well, I mean, look at Trinity. Jesus Christ, like who gives a fuck? The people in charge sure as fuck don't. We might ignite the atmosphere. Let's do it anyway.
I think after you go a long enough timeline is going to kind of automatically select, like the more intense things become, I feel like the more they'll get out of control, So
we've wiped ourselves out several times. I think that our understanding of evolution is just on the 10,000 years off of what we found in the last 50 years. We didn't even know about the Sumerian tablets until like the 80s or 90s. fucking have an accurate description of our entire solar system plus one. Okay, that's not fucking cool.
Yeah, do you see the news? It's been in, I think Joe Rogan, there was a clip that's going viral about the Göbekli Tepe
They're not letting
site,
people
right?
dig down there
For 150 fucking years. And they
I
were,
wonder why.
Exactly.
Now, I wonder why there are catacombs in the Grand Canyon of Nephilim. I wonder why Noah's Ark got raided by fucking God knows what branch.
Well, at the end of that video, I would say anyone who's listening, if they're interested, skip to the end. If you just go to the Joe Rogan clips, it's the one about Göbekli. If I can fucking speak, that place. And they tie back to thinking, okay, what's buried down there? Because they think this is where maybe Noah had an altar, and the guy talks about it, and he says Turkey doesn't want to let that get out.
Well, the temples of Solomon, you go look at we get off into real woo-woo shit here.
You guys really should not talk so much about catacombs because you're going to get Grantham excited.
Can we get comment topics from live for viewers?
Oh yeah,
let's do that.
We have quite a few chats.
There are some spicy gentlemen in the chat tonight.
Yes. Starting off, Mitchell Black for $9.99. Thank you very much, sir. Glimmagang, if you know, you know. That's from Mr. Piccone. Mitchell Black again for $4.99 says, I don't know how we got that past the YouTube censor.
He's black. He's black. It says so in his name, dude. He's allowed to say it. What the hell are you? What, are you going to shame the man for using his own language? Come on.
He got Amazon Prime on that word.
Nick $2 says, what shape is the Earth?
Oblate spheroid. Everybody knows that. It's in the textbooks.
That's right. Wait, do we have any flat earthers or non-round earthers here? I'm sure we all are, right?
The Earth is round. We went to the moon.
I'm around.
Bro, we did not go to the moon.
Oh,
yeah,
you don't think we went to the moon?
Dude, I went to the moon in Kerbal Space Program in about an hour and a half. If
we went to the moon, we faked the
video
footage.
game I can't play. I'm sure we could do it in real life.
Oh, okay. Let me rephrase that. I don't
easier.
believe we went to the moon when they told us we went to the moon.
Right.
Yeah, it was way before that. It was.
I'm on board with that one.
No,
yeah, that's my stance. We did not go there. We went there after we said we had the capability to.
The Wright brothers, they got the plane up in the air, and they're like, "What do you want to do with it?"
I like the idea of going before too. That also tingles my spidey senses.
I hope so.
Either way, they're fucking lying to us.
Yeah.
Whatever the mainstream narrative is, it's wrong. Jesse Burton for $2 says, Doug, your music was the best. Please release more. Have you ever thought of putting out your tracks just as like solo uploads?
I haven't. I'm such a bad music producer. It's just like it's kind of like the cycle of how I make it is really manic. And it's just like, sometimes I just won't be interested in it at all. And then other times I'll be like, oh, okay. I'm, all week long, I'm going to be in here writing songs until 2 a.m., and then it's like happens once a year. And it's totally disruptive. So it's like, I don't know what's going on with that. Anyway, it's hard to get a handle on it. And that's basically why I've never taken it seriously.
I want to hold an AK in my hands so fucking bad right now.
Taking what seriously?
Music. I just never taken music production.
Yeah.
I did it for Carnicon mostly because of the copyright stuff. Because when I was first doing Carnicon, I was trying to, figure out monetization, figure out how to get into sales and make some money off this stuff. And so I wanted to make all my own material so that I wouldn't have any, copyright issues. And then,
fuck, man, that's a daunting task.
Yeah. Well, my recommendation is don't do that because it takes a long time.
Just Some Space Cowboy for $10 says, bring back 38 Super Auto, 130 grain moving, 1200 FPS, and the capacity of 9. And then you can clone the Paul Harrell's government model in 38 Super.
This man just described 40 Smith & Wesson with extra steps.
Ricky Marin or Rick Marin, Marone. I think it's Marone. The spirit of James Yeager has agreed to defend Hop's honor by challenging Matt Pranka to a duel. Rumor
I have
has
a funny story about James Yeager, actually.
We'll tell right after this. Rumor has it Instructor Zero will officiate the challenge. Did something happen to Instructor Zero? I remember seeing a few videos like 10 years ago or something.
He's still around.
He's super short.
I think Matt Best ended his whole
Brazilian
career in
commando unit
2013.
general was like, this guy ain't real. We don't want him in our training facility. Something like that. But I don't know.
Now, here's the question. Didn't Instructor Zero had like a ton of traction and viewership when he was doing videos initially, right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I don't think he does now. So, like, what happened?
Well, it's like a different guy. It's not the same guy anymore.
10 years ago, Matt Best destroyed him, like annihilated that man. One of the largest viewed like gun tube videos of the time. He was just like poking gentle fun at a bunch of YouTubers, and then a couple of guys that he went in hard on, Instructor Zero and Corey and Erica. Who? No, I'm sure nobody can remember anymore because they were destroyed.
Erica
right?
was a hot redhead too.
Yeah, it's like there. I mean, good effect on target, I guess, for Mr. Best, but like those people
Bad Grantham got to her.
Annihilated.
I want to say that
Tore to
they
shreds.
got in hot water because of stolen valor.
Who did?
No way, dude. He had
That was the
tattoos on
joke.
his hands.
That
Yeah.
was a joke
Legit.
10 years ago, right? That the joke in the Matt Best video is that the man is doctoring his DD-214
Yeah.
on camera. Like that.
They
that was
messaged
the
me
joke.
a bunch when they first got started. They were like, "Hey, man, how does all this stuff work? I want to get paid and stuff." I'm like,
No
"Yeah."
way.
I gave them a bunch of advice, and I said, "Don't fucking forget me when your channel blows up." Guess what fucking happened?
I have an interesting story. I'm not gonna like name drop, to just for privacy, but like there was particularly one guy, but it was a couple of guys contacted me in the beginning of Carnicon, and they were trying to. I didn't realize it at the time, but they were trying to put like naked chicks and stuff in videos or whatever, kind of like try to promote that kind of stuff.
Mad Bad Voodoo, maybe.
Like the stuff, the Matt Best model, like the Matt, like the titties and beer and all that or whatever, whatever it is. They were trying to do that with me, and like it just wasn't really jiving, so we didn't really click that much. Anyway, then they went to Matt Best after that, and then Matt Best got huge, and I was like, well, maybe I should have done that. I don't know.
Damn.
I always wondered, like, did he actually know all those strippers in real life, or did they come from somewhere?
I'm just kidding. I wouldn't want to be Matt Best on YouTube. That would not be.
I burned out with the bro vet thing. That was so 2010. Hey, Cokeman, what was your story about Yeager you were going to say?
Oh yeah, shit, I forgot. So back in the day, I don't know when this was, but what I used to do was get on Skype, and I would have 2 or 3 buddies, and we would do a YouTube post or make a YouTube video and be like, "Oh, everybody get on Skype and we're going to talk to you." So we'd bring people in and we'd basically just dox them and eviscerate them. And if they didn't leave or get ass hurt about it, we would keep them in our chat. And fucking that's how we've maintained our little network that we have, which is only about 5 or 6 people, but it's still something. But during those days, we would go on Craigslist, or we would call Prosvent, the prostate medicine hotline or whatever, on Skype, and just prank call people and stuff. Eventually, at one point, we called Midway USA at 3 in the fucking morning, and we got a hold of his wife. We somehow found his house phone number online. We got a hold of his wife, and she answered at like 3 in the morning. And one of the guys in our chat was like, "Hey, yo, we're trying to talk to Larry. I'm going to ask Larry a question. Get his ass out." And they were so nice. They literally were like, "Well, he's asleep right now, but we can't get I'll tell him anything there." And we were like, "Oh shit, we're sorry. We were fucking just trolling the shit out of people. We didn't mean it." They were so fucking nice. They were the nicest. Like, oh my god, that woman literally offered to take a message at 2 something in the fucking morning for Larry fucking Potterfield. But anyway, we got a hold of James Yeager's phone number because we knew, y'all know Tex Grebner 87, the guy that shot himself. He was
got fucking juiced, man. That's the original Grantham arc right there.
Fucking A, right? That dude, he's got all kind of issues. He's a cool guy. I mean, I've talked to him a whole bunch. He quit talking to him because we fucked with him too much. But he would go to James Yeager's classes all the time for free. And at some point, he was harping on about it. Like, hell yeah, I'll get you guys a fucking seat in the next tactical response class. You know, just let me know. I'll give you his phone number. So we got his phone number. Needless to say, that did not pan out the way that we intended it to, as it was presented. My buddy, called James Yeager's house phone and got him on the fucking phone and started fucking ripping his ass about the shit that happened in fucking Iraq. And he was like, yeah, I heard you left your buddies to get chopped to bits in Iraq and you ran off into a ditch and fucking it was a huge pussy. And that dude fucking went fucking ballistic. He's like, you say that, you come say that shit to my goddamn face, I'll break your goddamn back, motherfucker.
What did you think he was gonna do? You think he's gonna like take that shit light? You're like, yeah, you're right. Of course he's gonna freak out.
Oh fuck. Yeah.
I also don't know how to drive a manual transmission, so I
hey, look, man, I've seen that fucking video. Fuck that situation. I would have ran off way before he would. Way before he did, dude. Fuck that, getting ambushed by fucking Escalades with PKMs at 200 fucking yards in the middle of the desert. Yeah, fuck that.
A bunch of guys just being like, I'll just sit here under PKM fire. I don't give a fuck.
Like, no, I'm getting the fuck out of Dodge.
Cover. Like, pussy.
God, that video makes the
fucking
heckles
pussy,
on my neck
get
stand
shot,
up.
pussy.
That fucking situation sucked. Fucking cock, man. Seriously. But the dude did write a book about it and, you know, yada, yada, or whatever. That's only like controversy that James Yeager has, other than the shit that he said that got his CCW revoked in the Obama administration.
Oh, yes.
I'm going to start fucking killing people.
Some of the best shit that ever happened in our lifetimes.
Hey, I know a story about Grubner and Yeager. One time.
Oh, yeah?
I won't say the instructor's name, but he said that Yeager used to have orgies and fuck bashes.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Grubner,
definitely get another beer for this.
That's and Grubner would call and be like, "Come on, man! Somebody suck my dick, man! Come on,
you full of shit."
Yeah, and then I had a random phone call, and some guy called me on an unknown number. It was like, Yeager goes to weird sexual Illuminati parties in Nashville. And I'm like, what the fuck? And hung up the phone.
Are you serious?
It was bizarre, dude.
Holy
but yeah, Grubner was all about trying to get it off. Like, come on, let me just.
Oh no, he's got a life account. He's into BDSM. I mean, we made him make a video where he had fucking blown up condoms tied around his ears and in a loincloth with a double-sided dildo, slapping himself across the face. Fucking.
What is going on in the stream?
You ain't never seen that?
No,
I still have it.
This is Focus Strip's life from now on. I don't think he's ever going to have like a.
I got lost 30 minutes
on the
ago.
internet ever again.
I
Maybe
will fucking
45
show
minutes
you
ago.
prison sex with Tex Grebner, motherfucker.
We need a new topic. I think let's just go on.
Yeah, I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and move on.
God bless you, Mr. Ashley.
Thank you, we appreciate it. JP, loved your old vids. A2 handguards plus body armor.
Yeah, keep it simple, man. A2 handguards, way to go. But you can, put lasers and whiz bangs on them now. So,
it's funny we're talking about
X2 on top of with a barrel clamp on top of an A2 handguard. There is not a lot wrong with that, other than finding a barrel profile that actually fits it, because every new manufacturer is like cheating it a little bit.
That's not quite the same. Mitchell Black for $4.99 says, Grand Thumb, we know you're watching. Go take care of your kids.
What's up with this harassment architecture ass fucking profile picture this guy has?
I mean, he's black. He was the original Romans, don't you know?
Vaporwave.
You're right. Mea culpa.
Yep. I have no stir for $5 says, glad to see Dugan looking healthy. He is the reason I got a Kalash. Hopefully one day I get the chance to run it with a ham sandwich inside of it. I actually watched that video today. That was funny.
Hey, good deal. Thanks, man. Hey, you know what's interesting? I don't even own an AK-47 anymore.
Thanks to Dugan Ashley. All right. Rick Marin for Marone for $50. Thank you very much, sir. You are insanely generous. I do not know why you are wasting so much money on this live stream, but thank you.
He's trying to get in your pants, man.
I guess so. Will 2024 be the year Dugan Ashley finally admits he's Garand Thumb's father and not Travis Haley? You know, you and Mike do actually look. You have a similar face structure, for sure.
No way. No
Negative. Negative
Yeah.
Raptor, man.
What?
More so than Travis Haley. Travis Haley and Grantham do not actually look that much alike.
I think it's just a comparison based
Well,
off
they
the
used to.
tacticals.
They used to look very much alike. Now they don't
Maybe
look
from
a
like the
goddamn thing like
bridge
each
up,
other.
maybe.
Their tacticals look really similar.
Everybody looks the same from
Long
the tee
face.
box.
Long faces, extended necks.
Very fertile.
Yeah, breedable.
Great
Beautiful
for
And breedable.
Fertile,
Yeah.
fertile.
High Powered for $5 says this cream pie is sponsored by SDI and Primary Arms. Who's the biggest sponsor of the channel, Micah?
It's disgusting.
Micah? Oh, wow.
Scientology.
That's right. Jonathan Segura for $4.99 says word on the street is GT is trying to get tactical GF girlfriend pregnant. Should we tell him?
Hey man,
Yeah,
with
that's
today's
not-
day and age, you never know anything is possible.
The miracles of science. You will
I know
see.
Focus Trick's already seen this, but there is a wonderful legacy episode of Primary and Secondary before the entire world turned upside down, where you can see Garantham and the original in-range TV, Carl Casarda, back before weird stuff happened, having a really pleasant conversation.
Fuck,
because,
man.
Because 10 years ago, people
I
just
want
talked
to
to each
talk
other.
to
It was
Ian
awesome.
about that. I want to see what Ian thinks.
I bet there's
I don't
some
know if
lawsuits and lawyers involved in preventing.
I don't
him
know
from
if they
saying that.
correspond anymore. I think they had a falling out.
Matt,
Yeah.
Matt, what did you know anything about that stuff?
No, I just
I
know
didn't
you,
either.
me, and Carl had an awesome time back in 2017.
Yeah, we had an awesome time. I had no idea. I had people after that sending me emails and stuff.
Yeah, he's a
like,
fucking weirdo, man.
talking about all kinds of weird stuff, and I was like, ew, I don't want to know about like any of this. What are you doing?
Keep that to yourself.
It wouldn't stop. It was
He's
like
a fucking edgelord. That's all.
I think I had like 20 people probably email me about him, and I was like, did Matt know about? I never asked you about that. I was like, did Matt know? Is Matt like
And he's
trying
a
to set
huge
something
cut,
weird?
too.
What has he got this guy coming out of here?
Yeah.
Well, it's funny
Hey,
too.
that goes back to the thing. Like, keep your fucking sex and fucking private. Like, man, just goddamn keep that shit away, dude. Like, nobody wants to fucking know that shit. You fucking weirdo.
Yep.
That's the fucking principle of the matter. The more of a weirdo you are, the more attention you want because you know you're abhorrent to society and you want to destroy yourself on principle.
Might
And
as
there
well
is-
take advantage of it and have a Garantham session with busting nuts with Mike Jones, something like
Yeah.
that, and he just discusses this with everyone, brings them on,
Yes, we need gun tuber therapy.
and they eat
fucking
peanuts,
talk.
sort of like the
Oh,
hot wing thing, but
I
busting
know
nuts
this won't
with Mike
happen,
Jones.
but I really want him to be on one episode of the Hawk Dua podcast, man. Talk
That's
Dua with
the-
Mike Jones, fucking. stand
Well,
brother at this
visit
point.
your local synagogue, and then maybe you might get a chance to get on there.
I can tunnel my way into one, you know. I know a tunnel
Cheers,
out
bro.
back.
Anyway,
Too soon.
Silicone Store for $2 says, coke it up, Hop. A real nibber, even if he a small. Damn. I don't think Hop is very small. And
I'm the biggest person on this panel, and
I don't know
that
about
counts
that.
for like a lot because height is like I think works against you more often than not. Like low center of gravity is pretty legit. So like JP's got the the very low body fat percentage, so that man could kick my ass. Focus strip, low center of mass, he can kick my ass. Like I'm bigger than all of you, but it doesn't
I
matter.
can feel everywhere
I
y'all
can barely
can, 'cause
stand
I'm
up all the
tiny.
way, dude.
What's the height?
I'm 6'4".
I'm 6'5".
You're a
damn,
tall
boy.
motherfucker.
You got the Nephilim genes.
Are you bumping your head all over the place, son? What's going on?
You can't drive a Fiat.
Especially if it's a stick shift.
I'm
Juicy
sorry. Anybody
says, how do
ever-
I get on one of these lives? I don't know. I don't know how I got here, so I can't.
Wait a
really-
minute. Is that No, that's not the dude. That's not
I'm not
what's his name?
Juicy Media. I'm not familiar with you, so I
The guy in his profile picture. What is that? Fucking Trackhawk something? Josh or some shit? Fucking I don't know.
I really hope, unrelated to this, that I get to meet Landfair and give him a hug because,
absolutely.
if you're a tall person,
that is my
and
plan.
you get to hug another tall person, it's this beautiful synergy, and you're like, this is what hugging is supposed to be.
Yeah,
and
not
as a
this
tall
goofy-
person, you don't get a lot of that in your life. So
You don't.
Matt, how tall are you? Matt, how tall are you?
6'5".
Oh, geez.
I had no fucking idea. I had no idea.
I'll stand up right
because-
now, but it won't do anything.
Right. The problem is I don't get to see you hold a gun, and I base all of my perceptions off of
Which one?
Don't touch it. Don't touch it. We'll get taken offline. Don't touch it.
Yo, yo,
No.
Whoa, no.
Whoa.
We'll do it.
Whoa. Put it back.
I already did.
I know
Yeah,
he was
but
actually
somebody saw that.
handling his revolver earlier, so
Yeah, exactly.
But no,
So it's like you see somebody holding a gun, and if you've ever held a gun before, you're like, oh, I know that guy's exact size right now. But the problem is, Landfair is always like there's some depth of field going on. I don't know how big he is in relation to that wall of guns. So I'm stoked to learn this. Well, that's just Resident Evil 2 footage. That doesn't
You like that?
yeah, it's not real.
That was a
Zog no likey.
Sorry.
I have chances of getting the stream monetized, so I'm not worried about that.
Cokeman
whatsoever.
is the master of unlocking. I'm pretty sure.
Actually, I'm pretty sure Cokeman was just done with the stream. He's like, I'm going to end it. This is how it's ending right now.
No, I was just being edgy. I'm sorry.
He's just going to crash
Was
check.
it
He's
loud?
just going to chamber check all of his guns the 4chan way and be like, well, I guess today I get to live.
Was that loud?
It wasn't loud. No, it sounded.
That was
good.
that was airsoft.
It could have been louder.
Well, they were just 835, so
Robert Barb for $2 says, GT, the dude gets all chicks pregnant in Idiocracy.
I have never seen it, but I always kind of.
You've never seen Idiocracy? Are you serious?
You're
Holy
living it.
What
fuck!
the hell,
You
bro?
have got to fucking watch that shit after this fucking stream, dude. It is fucking literally like reality now.
You are living it right now.
Yeah,
I gotta
you're
go
in
watch it too. I always thought it was a chick flick. The name just
Dude, no,
sounds gay
fuck
to me.
no, it's so good. Oh my god, dude, Mike Judge is he's a prophet.
Yeah.
I did the collegiate film studies kind of thing, and they would never let a bachelor candidate watch Idiocracy because
What
it would
the-
expose the lie behind the entire degree program. So
Ooh, interesting.
Just
That
some
sounds like
$5 says, sorry for the poor spelling and grammar. YouTube won't let you say certain words in super chats. I don't know if that's true because people have been getting
YouTube won't let you say certain words in any fucking thing. Like, I mean, it's got some seriously strange algorithmic exclusions.
Yeah, and had to hastily edit it. So it's, and I know there's like certain like candidates and stuff you can't say like very specific names. Which is,
I don't think it'll let you say Jew either.
You can talk about the Jewish ones as long as you're being nice.
I've seen a lot of Jew talk in the comments for sure.
yeah, they're getting away with all of it right now.
Well, they're referencing.
My channel isn't big enough to get the big censorship on it. Fish Tot for $1.99. Thank you, sir. Says Chrisky, need more content, bruh.
Yeah, just keep a lookout for Grand Com.
Content, man. Let me get the
That's
content.
Jake,
I
for
wonder
$9.99.
what Risky Chrisky would say if he was alive today.
We'll never know. Let Garand come speak. Well, that's going to be risky.
Well, let's
Chrisky.
get him. Yeah, fucking email that bastard and tell him to fucking quit being a fucking fag like everybody else. Quit being Mr. Beast and get online and fucking just say some shit. Dude, get his ass on one of these fucking streams and have him be like, oh, yeah, haha, haha, funny. Sorry. And then I bet you that motherfucker would get so many fucking subs overnight. Like all the subs that he's lost because of this, would he come back 10 fucking fold?
It'd give the virgins hope.
Yeah, man.
If we set up another alternate YouTube channel where he just has, it's just like all of us get together. We could probably get a lot of women together if the point of the channel is just for him to impregnate them. And that's it. That's the whole, he's just like,
Just
it would,
feeding bitches to Mike.
That's how you actually support the Second Amendment, is to just
toss
procreate
women into him like he's a fucking wood chipper, just like gonna Fargo that shit.
We just see how many children can he make. We'll just see how many. I mean, he could have. I mean, it could be.
He's replicating out of control.
I do love the Genghis Khan
see how far we
comparisons.
can go.
I would love.
At least
I
he's
would
not
love for this to be the
asexual,
case.
man. He'd be like a tumor, out of control growth if he could do this without women.
600 years from now, they're doing like whatever the sequel to 23andMe is. It's gonna be like 24andMe. They're gonna be like, wow, looks like almost 80% of this entire continent is related to Grantham in some way. Like, I mean, that's a future we could have if you guys weren't getting in his fucking way.
Talk about Genghis Khan.
The Grantham
preventing-
colonizers
you're
of
preventing-
2100.
You are
21.
preventing a really dangerously based future, just so you know.
I say good on him. I say God bless. Hopefully there's nobody upset or hurt, but the more kids you can have, the merrier. It's good.
Yeah, the only people that are hurt are his former wife and kids.
Right, sure.
Ludovic-
That's not my business. I'm sure there's always emotion about stuff. It's not, the whole thing's just not my business, But God bless him for having kids,
Ludovic for $2 says Hop was created by a CERN malfunction.
No, he pushed the button.
I no, in a true time paradox, I pushed the button that created myself.
Correct.
I was in attendance at my own birth.
Grifter Gaming or Grifting Gamer for $5, sir. Thank you. Says you don't have to buy it. Just look at who their kids marry. Retard. They're all Swiss ? Or marry their kids off to quote unquote Swiss families.
I bet if you read that comment at the right time, it would have been really insightful. But like in hindsight,
Just some Space Cowboy says take a super chat break focus. I'm trying to, sir.
That's what we doing, boy.
Last $2 says conspiracy. Ben trolled Matt by inviting him on. That is actually very possible. I think he's referring to Ben Stoker there.
Somebody's echoing and might need to mute.
Who's feedback? Hello.
Test.
Hello. It's Dugan. I muted Dugan.
All these fucking phone posters, man.
Unbelievable. The Boogaloo for $5. Thank you, sir. Says outdated, insecure, FUD boomer energy. Unfortunately, not uncommon. Carry on. Well, thank you very much, sir. Nick for $10 says, I think if GunTube focused on getting good at shooting and having fun instead of trying to cope and pretend to be a paramilitary guerrilla, the genre would be good again. Try hard dorks ruined it.
Based.
And I think maybe that, to play devil's advocate, maybe that's what one of the points Matt was trying to make. But in the drunken slop that he was tripping over, he just kind of lost sight of that and then got sidetracked.
Well, because we agree that, shooting fundamentals are the most important thing, right? Practice all of that, get good at all of that. But
the best thing you can do is practice weapon manipulation and pulling the trigger and analyzing the recoil. That's what the advantages are for training on a flat range.
Just some Space Cowboy for $2. Thank you, sir. Says Arma 3 was the birthplace of the FPV drones in 2012. I never played Arma 3. Did any of you guys play Arma, Matt?
Yep.
Yeah, it's like a realistic milsim.
Is that the one that I keep getting confused for combat footage that's posted on fucking Twitter all the time?
Yes, also true. Yes. Also UFO footage. All UFO and combat footage is actually Arma 3. So don't take any of it seriously.
That's amazing.
So if I played a lot of that, does that mean I have a pedigree?
Yes, you do.
Okay.
We couldn't figure out what that means or what he wanted, but you do have it, whatever that might be.
You can learn a lot about loadout micromanagement from Arma 3. Because you spend about 2.5 hours deciding who's going to carry the Scar Heavy, and then you spend about 14 seconds getting shot by some hacker 2.5 miles away.
Yep.
Just like in real life.
Right. Yeah. You just get taken out by a drone in real life, though, instead of a hacker. which kind
But
of
that game came out in 2013 when they just didn't know that drones were like an option.
It was awesome when it came out. It was amazing.
It was
for what it was.
I mean, Operation Arrowhead, but that was later. And also, yeah, fuck it. Fuck the whole thing. Fuck the whole experience. Biggest waste of my entire life.
The Boogaloo for $5 says they'll be dropping toxic chemicals and reactive to O2 gases out of drones when they run out of explosives, like mustard gassing trenches in World War I.
Why the fuck would anyone ever run out of explosives?
Well,
I mean,
mention that.
Yeah, that ain't gonna happen. Especially I mean,
No.
gas isn't even that. Isn't even
Bitch,
that
RDX is fucking. Go outside, you smell it.
Maybe
Yeah,
if they're using like sarin or something like that, it's pretty effective. There's some pretty nasty.
You go to Syria
herb
if
agents.
you want to fucking talk about any of that shit. Those cocksuckers have a fucking gold mine of that shit. You talk about fucking Islam is going to be the only one launching chemical weapons.
I for sure think it'll be used at some point, especially by the mid and low tier nation states or whoever that don't have access to better weapons.
Well, I mean,
or
we've seen that
you know,
already
we're not
with,
there yet.
Assad and the fucking whatever it was, sarin. I mean, wasn't it sarin or was it what was it he launched?
Sarin is the hardcore one. They had that. They've used that in. I think they used that in Iraq-Iran war.
Yeah,
But I'd also expect it even on the back end as a death throw. You know what I mean? Like they've used and expended all their other assets, and they got that shit laying around. They're like, throw this at it, see if it sticks.
I'm curious to see what
it'll fucking stick.
comes out with this Iran versus Israel shit. I'm very curious to see how that plays out.
World War III. That's how it plays out.
Well, that's what we all hope for, but probably not.
I'm
gonna
sure
win the
strategically
prize
leaving
ever.
the Taliban with an army's worth of weaponry and machines
that
had
helped.
nothing to do with that. Yeah,
No, it helped everything.
exactly.
Don't worry when everybody's all a bunch of trumpetits. He's gonna crank open a fucking draft and everybody's gonna be about it.
That's what I said all along, man. If he gets in and there's no war like brought on by the American people to put him in because those in power don't let it happen, then the only reason he's being brought in is to unite under the guise of patriotism so that they can get bodies for World War III.
And
Bingo. That's what it's
I
for.
don't know if there's that much orchestration to it.
I think I don't know if that's necessarily the plan. I think it's one of the contingency plans or alternates. I think they've used software and AI and all this shit to war game and have all these prediction models that they have. It's within their parameters that they could probably throw that out there and do
probably
that.
several programs in the works along those lines that are being done by CIA, NRO, NSA, FBI, blah, blah, blah. There's probably 10 different fucking programs for every fucking branch of intelligence agency that exists that is attempting to orchestrate some bullshit.
Who would be trying to orchestrate some bullshit on that high of a level, though? Sarcastically.
The big
I
problem.
mean, we look at what the Soviets did, and we look at what we did in the Cold War. Come on, like everything's on the table. We're talking about fucking literally bringing in fucking whatever that dumbass retard's name was that said he was a psychic. We've done so many things unclassified that just point towards some kind of subversion or orchestration to influence the American people, and whether or not that has anything to do with the Soviet influence from the Cold War. Now probably that's all we're experiencing is just remnants of the Cold War on our respective countries.
It's like-
Russia versus USA type shit.
It's like
China
this. You
versus
can-
USA.
If you're conservative, you can talk about a deep state all that you want, and everybody will agree with you and acknowledge that to some degree. If you're, if you're like a leftist, you can, complain about the corporations, man, and stuff like that. But the real problem is when you actually starting to try to figure out, who are we talking about here?
When you
that's where all
go
the trouble comes in.
into either one of those camps, when you enter into either one of those camps, all it is a camp. It's a camp. It's a set of ideological beliefs that a group of people have, why would you want to be a part of that?
The point I'm making is that there's a lot of people that think this way, and so everybody thinks that there is some apex orchestrated.
It's the concept of God. It's the concept of God that's been macroed down to our current understanding of reality. We're looking for an answer. We're looking for something to assign the definition of our shortcomings as a species, i.e., God and the devil.
I truly believe it's multiple different avenues of approach that align together. When I really look at who's at the center of it, I believe it is Satan, the devil, and who is working on Earth physically to do that. It's those who worship Satan, and unfortunately, that comes in many forms.
Prophetical
It's not
texts all describe the same thing. Every human being on this planet, no matter what they fucking believe, whether it's Buddhism, Islam, Christianity, whatever, it's all the same concept of good and evil, night and day, God and the devil. Everything exists within each one of us, and we have to pawn off of that responsibility as a creature because of our sentience, because it's too much power to wield at one time. That's what we're going to discover when we reach the full fucking precipice of our evolution.
I don't need to understand, what is going on or, what the mindset is. Like, I don't need to understand Jeffrey Dahmer because Jeffrey Dahmer's a psycho,
God.
right? So I don't need to understand or comprehend like why.
Those are aberrations.
His diet choices were terrible.
But you see what I'm saying? Like I think it makes more sense. It doesn't really matter so much to understand the control paradigm, why it is. It matters more of like who's oppressing you, identify them and just go after that. Like who's coming after the Second Amendment? That's a bad guy. Who's coming after freedom of speech? Those are bad guys. I just keep it simple like that. Like I don't really care about. I'm not an ideological person, but I am. I think you got to stick to your guns and you got to, you got to identify threats. So like if somebody's coming after these things that are
principles. As a human being, we have to have principles and we have to uphold them in whatever way we can in order to be what we are. That's what makes us different from chimps that go rip each other's fucking limbs to pieces in the Amazon or fucking in Borneo. Wherever.
So I don't care who they are. I don't care who is the guy that's running the child sex trafficking ring. I don't care who the guy is that's like, obviously pushing pornography. I don't care who is the guy that's, promoting transgenderism and, in liberalism. And, I don't need to know who, I don't need to understand why they're doing it. I just need to identify, who is that? And that's it.
Yep.
And I think another thing, it kind of lines up with what we're talking about here is the projection, or excuse me, I'm misspeaking, the trajectory of current events and how we are. It's not blackpilling, but I do believe we are facing an inevitable conflict. And it doesn't, you can look at it from the standpoint of, oh, it's the Jews or it's the CIA or it's the deep state or whatever. I think all of those have a say in it. But I think the bigger thing to look at is no matter who runs the fucking show, people below Biden and Harris, over different agencies, over different departments, random people that are in their cabinet, within the government, have committed treason, crimes against humanity. They're pedos, that sort of thing. They're corrupt, and somebody has that dirt on them. And so either, right, they don't want to get held accountable for that by the people saying that they're going to hold them accountable for, and they do anything in their power, right? I'm not even talking about Biden, right? But like, let's say you're above some department in the CIA, right? If you are on camera fucking kids, what would you not do within your power with all the things you have access to keep that from coming out? You might brainwash a school shooter or two, right? You might do something else. So there will be things that go down regardless, right? And then the other side of that coin is, Well, if they don't, then they're not worried about being held accountable because they know something that we don't know, right? Then, and it unfortunately still coincides with what we have going on. I think Trump is here to unite the country, and we're going to go to World War III. Everything's trending towards World War III. I also think there are people within the government and large, stockholders and other things like that, power players in the world that are scared to fucking death that all their dirty deeds are about to come out. So I think a combination of those two, the odds are something is going to happen. So like the whole gun tube thing, right? Like it's a double-edged sword. I like the idea of training, having kit, knowing how to do all those things. Everyone has to progress. If they really get into self-defense and freedom and that, everyone has that arc, right? So everyone looks into that. And then you realize at the end of the day, guns are cool, having this stuff's cool, but it's bigger than that. I gotta live, I gotta survive. And then if the shit really does go kinetic, like what am I gonna do? Fucking have my ATAC, my gay tac on my chest with my fucking multicam plate carrier when the swarm of drones are fucking around? Like, no, that's not realistic.
Don't forget your chem lights.
You deal with what you have, and you have with what you deal.
Well, you're right.
I enjoyed that section.
Shit is going to come to a head. You can feel it. You can feel it.
We're right on the 250 or 300 year precipice of empires. Shit's coming.
Yeah, it's coming.
Well, just the fourth turning, right? Just if you just look at numbers, right? There's multiple different,
bro.
There's multiple different things that you can take into account, right? Like,
and we're just
the hard times create strong men, create
from
good times
our
create weak
country.
men. And then what is it? There was I forget what the book's called or what the publication is, but there's this thing. It's like every 30 years there's a small war. Every 80 years there's like a large war. Like that's the trend we've had. And 2025 is like that 80. I think it's 80-year point where another thing is supposed to happen if we look at the trend over time.
Well,
we're in that next generation as well for the weak or the hard times.
My theory is that the United States, the people here with the Second Amendment, I think the weapons in public hands is a big problem. So I think in the long term, in terms of what's probably that's probably something that's going to have to be addressed. And I think the best way to address it is to get the United States involved in existential warfare so that we're overcommitted and overstretched and they can finally break us, so I think that's kind of what
that's where
World
we're
War
already
III
at.
Yeah,
We're already overstretched.
So if
overstretch us and then hit us while we're weak. Might as well.
Hit us while
that's where we're
weak.
at.
And that's what they're so what it appears to be, it could be anything. What it certainly appears like, because of the movements of gold, like over the last 20 years, it certainly appears like there is a Sino war being prepared. So we're going to have this existential war with China. And then, it's probably going to be over there in that, area. It's probably not going to be here so much, but it definitely leaves us vulnerable to another group, which have been flooding up from the South, which would be South Americans. So, it definitely looks like while we're weakened by existential war, the uppercut or the back, the stab in the back is probably going to be from mobilization of some South American nations. I don't know which ones those would be. If that would be Brazil, if that would be Mexico. I mean, I would assume Mexico and Brazil would probably be the.
Well, if you think jihadi groups haven't been fucking doing, infiltrating the fucking cartel groups it's literally Sicario 2. Like, if you want to go real,
you don't introduce a prop to a movie unless you plan on using it, and they didn't use the prop of the invasion at the border to sway the election, so it's for something else.
Yeah,
we can guess. There's obvious things that it looks like, but like at the end of the day, that's for something, and it hasn't been utilized to its fullest potential yet, as it appears.
Yeah, who's to say that rounding
9/11
up
2, baby. Patriot Act 2, motherfucker.
And that's what it'll take to unite the whole country to go to war under Trump for World War III is another
We
9/11.
gotta get to the point where we're fucking fighting aliens, bro. That's what's coming.
Yeah, we're about to, and they're Argentinian.
I can't fucking wait for that arc. I hope the holy fuck I live long enough to where we're fighting fucking ET. Oh my god, this fucking.
I'm with Tucker
cognitive
Carlson.
dissonance.
I think they're just fucking demons.
They are. I mean, it's what we've labeled them as for our understanding for thousands of years, and now we're calling them aliens. So yeah, what do we call bacteria 200 years ago? Demon possession.
Galians, hard no in the comments. That's great. Yeah.
Anything. It's the same thing. I mean, we've used God and the devil for what, 10,000 years. We got to switch it up, Chief.
Do you think that maybe Trump talking about pushing this whole immigrant and border thing is the way to mobilize for martial law?
No.
I think it's a possibility, right? I think the martial law is less of a concern.
That's not going to happen.
I think it could, and I like going. What's his name? A pale horse, right? Talking about FEMA. I
Bill
definitely
Cooper?
buy into that. Yeah, dude. There's and as a
That dude
I've
got shot in the
deployed,
fucking head.
deployed not necessarily with FEMA as a part of FEMA, but I've deployed to disasters more than a few times and worked hand in hand with FEMA. And I understand, like,
FEMA's
they absolutely throw the Constitution out the window. But on the ground, most people don't realize it. They don't
That's
understand
hilarious.
what's going on, and the people there don't understand it. And I think that's definitely going to take place to some degree. I also think, to get full schizo, like that they're gonna, as a Hail Mary or as a to save their asses or the grand plan. I don't know what it is. Definitely fake an alien invasion.
Yep, that's
Gotta
it.
do that. Gotta do that. I hope I live long enough for that one. And we're like half of us aren't buying it. You know, just shooting at it. Like
Good time in the streets. Real good time in the streets. Good time to visit Detroit, I hear.
I don't think it's ever visit Detroit.
Hey, Mr. Landfair, how you doing?
Hey, if you ever, I'm telling you what, if shit hits the fucking
it's
fan,
the second of
I'm
the
hitting
life
every major city, baby.
sponsored by Sonoran something Institute. I couldn't think of anything funny on the spot.
Sonoran Desert Institute. I forget those guys are the ones. Yeah, no, they trained Scientology PMCs. I called out gun websites about 10 years ago on that shit, and he blocked me.
As they tend to do.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So we're at over 2 hours. If anybody needs to dip,
Damn.
I want to thank you very much for coming on. But I do kind of want to say goodnight.
Brother, you did not summon a panel of quitters. I guarantee you no one's just going to bow out after you.
We're here forever, motherfucker.
I'm gonna
I thought he was
go
talking to the
I'm gonna go
listeners.
buy beer. So I'm gonna
Oh,
go
that's
buy
true. Yeah,
beer.
the listeners, all you guys, just get out of here. Nobody needs you anymore. But no, just in case anybody needs to take off, I don't want to trap them.
My modcasts are 8 hours. I don't know what you're talking
Yeah, no, I know. I was on one for 3.5 hours. I get it.
I've been here since 2007, baby.
Yourself lucky.
Yeah.
Mike Jones pumps
Last
loads
podcast,
for
man.
fucking
I'm waiting for a chance.
12-hour shifts. And I'm out here complaining about being on a stream for 2 hours. No, if Mike Jones can do it, I can do it.
Right.
Hey, Chrisky, if you could just do a tip to butt, say something about tip to butt when you do his
I'm telling you, he should have from the get-go, it would have been more genuine if he would have just, instead of tip to butt, just said ass to mouth. Because then we all would have known where he stood.
I mean, haven't we all been measuring tip to butt the entire time? Like that's the standard, right? Like that's how you do
Ass
it.
to
muzzle
ass.
to stock is what I thought it was, but
Right. I mean, I've been proclaiming these measurements.
Well, let's just go straight up. We're gonna go UTI, fucking S.
Brandon Coral for $1.99. You got this up on the stream for like 30 minutes at one point. It will be each other's countries, AI versus AI in the future. Yeah, no, there is a AI arms race already going on.
I don't think it'll. I think that if there's any sustained conflict that involves artificial intelligence between two major world powers, I don't think we're going to make it to that point. we're gonna self-annihilate before we get that sophisticated because we're too stupid.
I think another avenue of approach, just reminded me, is I heard somebody maybe a year ago talking about how they foresee AI and scammers to be able to steal people's banking information by just saying the password's lost, redoing the captcha, calling the banks, and just draining their funds. And once it happens once, it's going to happen exponentially, right? Overnight, almost, if you will. So once that starts, they're going to another avenue of approach for central bank digital currency, or to shut down certain parts of the system and implement more power or change, right? Because it's these fucking scammers, right? No, the power grab.
UBI, Universal Basic Income, right?
Oh yes.
Yeah. Everyone's got their money wiped out, right? We're in World War III for a debt we can't pay.
It's that or population control.
Yeah. It's just the whole thing is there's too many fucking avenues of approach, if you will, to be ignored.
There's too
much shit going on for it to be nothing.
Yeah.
And I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, I'll be the first to say it. And then I just look like a fucking schizo with a mask on.
If there's I would want to seriously hope and fucking want to believe that there is a council that is considering all of this. I'm sure there is a council that is considering it. Now, whether or not they have the amount of influence that people like to assign to people like the Bilderberg group or whatever, that may be what that is or was at some point. Most likely not anymore, but no, that would be
the Cum Council exists. They all have Nephilim blood. They're all in high power, and they fuck interdimensional demons.
And I'm on for the fucking ride. I got a front row seat
and giant beds.
Shit, and I'm ready to watch whatever the fuck comes out the other end, bitch.
I'm just amazed that Build-A-Bear is part of this. That is insane.
Right?
Well, they have little hearts in them too, so it's nice.
The Berenstein Bears, we hop time.
Oh wait, is it Berenstein or Berenstain?
Exactly.
I thought it was Berenstein. I thought they were Israeli.
Time to get into that.
That's the Mandela effect, baby. He was dead. Billy Graham Jr. died in 2006. You all remember that shit? The volleyball.
I'm still waiting for the
court
deep dive on
shooting
Fruit of the Loom to
occurred.
drop because everybody remembers the Fruit of the Loom thing. It turns out there may be more death than we expect.
Starbucks. What is it? Some kind of fucking siren entity from some fucking.
Yeah, the old Starbucks logo with the twin tails. I mean, yeah.
Oh yeah, dude, Illuminati, bro.
Hey, you know what? If you ever want to like fucking let's just ruin this entire stream. Everybody do this for like 4 seconds. That's it. Game over. Every single unmedicated schizo in the comments was just like, "Oh shit, I knew it." For a while, knew it, and that's it, man. That's it. The rest of their life is just dedicated to exposing us because we did that for a fucking second and a half. For
a while, I uploaded a picture. My profile picture was me covering one eye in the One Eye Club, and people were fucking losing it, emailing me.
I mean, it can be as trivial as anything you fucking want. You could just be like in the middle of an unscripted rant, and like you got allergies because your fucking dipshit cat like slept on your face early in the morning. You're like, geez, my eye, and people are gonna be like, "Whoa, Illuminati, I knew it." These people
or you just get poison ivy in both your eyes.
124 grains of fucking semi-jacketed hollow point justice to the fucking back of the skull.
Yes, sir.
No offense.
Come on, Brass, jump in. Come on, Brass.
Hey,
also Nimda's here. Just tell him to stop shooting women. He's got to stop.
Actually,
I don't know why he won't do it.
Nimda, could you please shut up in the chat? Thank you. We appreciate it.
Hey, he can talk. He can say whatever he wants. He can talk as much as he wants. He just needs to stop shooting women in the head. That's all we want from him, really.
Korean hyper war. All right, I don't know about that
Just
one.
Space Cowboy for $2 says, any Finno Korean hyper war veterans in here? I feel like that's a game reference that I don't understand.
Yep, don't get that one. I'm a boomer, baby.
Same, 2 boomer for this stream. Cody Piper for 5. Evolution doesn't exist. Jesus Christ is Lord. Based.
Yeah,
Christ is Lord.
That Christ Lord energy is doing great on this planet right now. Let me tell you.
I am on board with the God energy, but we got the whole geological column, brother.
Science is fake and gay, just like space.
I don't know. Jesus is gonna be fucking wrecked when he finds out that you just like don't give a shit about all that work he did.
Yeah, pretty much. That's why he left.
In a
Hollis
spaceship.
Powell, 666 for no apparent reason, asks, who is Amon Hillman?
Whoever you want him to be, baby.
I have to Google that now. Should I Google this? Oh,
Hey, real quick, anybody
Not-
who jumped
Not
in,
with your
Bing,
fucking, not with your
anybody who jumped
VPN
in
off.
this live stream watching, donate because we got the whole dream team on a live chat right now.
Y'all better be giving money to somebody because somebody's going to be getting money anyway, and it may as well be one of us instead of one of them.
Money's fake and gay too. Add it to the list.
Oh, big time, brother. Holy fucking shit. I fucking love the fact that there is literally not $1 trillion that exists on this planet.
I got a potato in the oven. So if we can wrap this soon, I would love to go eat that.
Compulsive Gun Buyer for $20 says, I'm curious, can you find one conspiracy theory that everyone on screen can sign into? I think we've talked probably an hour on this stream.
Yeah. I think I would say the biggest conspiracy theory as far as our species is concerned is God.
My favorite conspiracy theory is that everything's going to be okay.
Well, that is a culmination of things. So in the end, you're really right. It doesn't
Vintage
matter what happens. It's perfect.
For $1.99 says, space is fake and gay.
What's up, Warfare?
He's a good dude. Should have got him on this panel. That would have been
Right?
even better. Nico Brown for $2 says T-Zone song when? Question mark. That's a song for Mr. Dugan. Primary and secondary. I know that guy. He says this is my entry fee for $5. Yes, that's the secret. Is you have to get guests to pay to come on the show.
I didn't pay.
Well, you'll get the bill in the mail later. Don't worry about it. Alaskastani says for $1.99 says remember to everyone to send Nimda a hate message.
Not hate. No, not hate. Just disapproval, I think, is fine.
Nimda, please.
Yeah. Paragon for $3.50 says, please ask Hop nicely to unban me from his Discord. Hop, could you unban Mr. Paragon? He seems like a nice gentleman.
Well, first of all, you didn't say please. Second of all, I don't ban anybody from the Discord. But there are moderators, and they might do that shit to you. I don't know. And when they do it, it's usually really funny. So
yeah,
like, I
if
don't
you
know.
got banned
If you
from a
can-
Discord, you probably deserved it.
Also, yeah, I mean, it's the same. It's that kind of weird cognitive dissonance where you're like, first of all, it's so important that I get unbanned from this Discord. Second of all, the stuff that I said wasn't that important. Is Discord important to you or not? If it was important to you, why would you have said that shit? You got to decide that. You know, if you really want to be on there, then surely you could hold your tongue in like at least the smallest of circumstances. But if it's not important, then just shut the fuck up and just enjoy it, because it's just talking to weird people on the internet that you don't actually know.
You go back about 10,000 years and try that on a soapbox.
I
See
guess
how it
that's the
worked
thing.
out
It's like,
for you.
right, like count your lucky fucking stars that what happened to you was that you got banned on a Discord, because if you did that in the fucking Iron Age, you would have been killed with rocks. All right, so like, okay, you got banned from Discord. You can go find another Discord. If you got kicked out of the village back in the old days, you would have been dead, motherfucker. Your skull would have been caved in with a very large boulder, and there is no other like village for you to go join after that. So I don't know. Just
Count
think
your
about it,
blessings, weirdo.
yeah, exactly. Just think about the consequences of ostracization throughout the history of humankind. Right? Like back in the day, it used to be pretty much the end game. If you got ostracized, you either were killed as a form of ostracization, or you starved to death because you no longer had the support of a community. Nowadays, you get ostracized. Okay, I guess I'll go find some even worse, smaller, more niche community to hang out in. Brother, you
I
got
go to
things
get
as
beer.
easy as it could possibly be. This
I'm
is the
getting beer
best
for 5
outcome for
minutes.
you because you just can't keep your dick in your pants or your tongue in your mouth. So why don't you just fucking stop it? Anyway, no offense.
Nico Brown for $5 says Noachide Law on idolatry. Let's talk about it. Yeah, that's
You
basically
hear
just.
me?
You did look that up at the.
I'd
intro.
let Dugan cover that one. He knows a lot about Noachide, so go for it, dude.
Is Dugan talking? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, we can.
Oh, okay. I went to go get some beer and come out here. What are you guys talking about here? You guys talking about Noachide? Like, what happened to the stream here?
Don't worry about it, man. It's not important to almost anyone.
Okay. Well, that's good. I just want to stay topical. I want to stay topically relevant here. I'm driving too, so I'm only part focused. What are we talking about? Noachide? You want to know, but you want to talk about that in the stream?
Yes.
We're just reading chats and trying to figure out if any of these people have a solid grasp of reality or society.
Oh, okay. Well, I think the whole problem is, I think it's pretty simple. I think looking for deep kind of examples and trying to understand it is like the analogy I was given about, trying to understand Jeffrey Dahmer. Like, I don't think you have to do that. I think you just have to defend yourself from threats, like as a society. I'm talking like as a collective group. The Noachide is it's pretty trippy. It's really difficult to. It's not hard to explain. It's just super weird. So essentially, in Judaism, there is a subsystem for non-Jews called Noachideism, and this is like at the end of when the Messiah comes back. And all the nations, fight the Messiah, and then the Messiah is triumphant. And then Noachide law is it's the new system, the new religion, and the new universal system that will apply to all nations and all mankind. And so this is like prophesized. This is claimed to be prophesized from, like what we would know as the Old Testament. I mean, really, it's like the Torah and the the Tanakh is where the sources of this prophecy. But anyway, it's supposed to be a universal thing. The really interesting thing about Noachidism is that the symbology of it is always a rainbow, because it has to do with the Noahidic covenant from the Bible. So you have you have the covenant with Abraham and like the circumcision. Then you have Noahidic, the Noah, God will not flood the earth again to destroy the earth. That's the Noahidic covenant, and a part of that, the extension of that is like the Noachide laws. But what's really interesting is that their symbology is the rainbow, and so the gay movement using the rainbow. There's the Weather Underground, which is a bombing group from the 1970s.
There's the Rainbow Serpent from Aboriginal beliefs as well.
Right. And so what is going on here is that
Dream time.
When you put all this together, you start to realize that over the past 10 years, 20 years really, the flag has been at half mast. So they're putting the flag at half mast in the United States more and more almost every year. Certain terms of presidency are way higher, but the number of times that the flag gets brought down to half mast are, it's really common now. It happens a lot more too, and they're starting to put up rainbow flags in embassies and in government buildings. And this is identified as a liberal thing. It's associated with liberalism, but I don't. Anytime that I see a rainbow, once you understand, this isn't some fringe thing. Like there are Noachides.
No, it's symbolism through occultism.
There's Noachides right now. So there are Noachides in Israel that are already living there. They're like Christian converts converting to Noachidism from Christianity, which is kind of the big thing is that in the Noachide law, which you have to get really deep in the weeds, but I researched it, and a part of the thing is that idolatry is one of the 7 Noachide laws that you get executed for. So the punishment for it is beheading by blade. It's beheading by blade, and it covers Christians. So like if you're a Christian, because of the Holy Trinity, because of the concept of the Holy Trinity, it's considered in technical law to be a violation of the idolatry clause, which is only punishable by death. And it's particularly decapitation by blade. So that's where, then again, prophecies of, you know, people getting beheaded for bearing witness to Jesus Christ, things like that. All this
Crucifixion.
stuff is kind of connected, but I definitely see after understanding Noahidism and understanding how real of a thing this is, like, this is not a, you know, some, you know, crackpot whack-a-mamie idea. Like, this is a real thing, and there are thousands and thousands of people working all the time to instill this and cause it. I mean,
That
it's so,
is the key, is that it is not cockamamie, because there are several fucking psychotic motherfuckers on this planet that believe this bullshit.
Well, wasn't there
dude,
I
Friends,
remember
you
a
remember
couple
the
of
show
years
Friends?
ago.
Friends, remember that show?
Yeah.
Friends had a whole outreach segment where they did a commercial with Friends. It's on YouTube. You can find it. I mean, this was a while ago, but it was through the Chabad organization promoting Noahidism. So they're like, it's a Noahide outreach program to attempt to recruit Noahides for Christian conversion. So like, this is like a huge thing. This is the main interface between the orthodoxy of like Chabad and the non-Jews in the United States. So like every city, every university town that has a university, pretty much any big city with a substantial population is going to have a Chabad house. And one of the things that they work on a lot is like Noahide conversion, you know, because it's a commandment. It's a commandment for them to convert the Christians to Noahide.
Well,
So anyway, that's my
my
synopsis on Noahidism.
a few years ago, I remember seeing, and this was one of those, it could be associated with the Q bullshit. So if it is, forgive me. But I remember seeing pictures, and maybe they were Prada. Don't quote me on that, but they were like really like high-end clothing company. Like they made guillotines, like electronic guillotines.
Holy
That's
shit.
kind of a coincidence, isn't it? Right? Like,
the fuck?
yeah. So again, I remember seeing pictures of them, and this was before AI. You know, everyone and their mother could alter images with it. So don't quote me on that, but it does line up with
Now,
prophecies and things like that.
What I will add, because I don't want, you know, like, it's kind of a fantastic claim for me to, you know, explain this stuff with Noahidism. It's super bizarre. But if you wanted to understand where this is from in literature, the source material of this is a book called Law of Kings, and it's in a book written by a man named Maimonides in 1100, the year 1100. And the section in there is called, the book is called Mishnah Torah, which is it's almost like a Kodak for, you know, similar to how a phone book would work or something like that, but for the Torah. So it's a very, you know, accepted and prominent book. And within there, the interpretation of the Torah has a section where it's Law of Kings, which means that at the end, when the kingship is back, like what's going to happen to the Gentiles, that's where the laws are, you know, spelled out and dictated. And that is the section where you're going to get all the clauses of like beheading, which is actually, you know, it's like quite a few. I mean, a lot of them are really disturbing. Like, you know, somebody steals, they're going to get beheaded. Somebody, you know, if you try to have sexual relationships with like a Jewish married woman, you're going to get beheaded. Like, you know, there's a lot of beheading stuff. There's like one or two that they are prescribing strangulation, but a majority of them are beheading. So if you wanted to verify that stuff, that's where the information on that is really, you know, that's the horse's mouth.
Well, thank God, you know, our country isn't unreasonably associated with Israel, who's, you know, kind of hosting this stuff, right? And they just have thank God they don't have unregulated power over our politicians and policy and everything we intake as consumers and citizens. And then also, right, thank God all the Christian folk here in the promised land realize how dangerous it is getting this close to the same group that killed Christ and also does not believe Christ is the Messiah. It's kind of interesting. And I'm not this is not a Jew bashing session. It all lines, as far as my perspective, it all lines up pointing towards the same thing.
Chrisky,
and in my opinion, it's biblical.
Chrisky, the wars, you know, the wars that so many people have died in recently for the United States, a lot of people don't comprehend this because it's hard to take a step back and like look at the big map, the big picture. all the Middle East wars are in a little circle around Israel. They're all
Right.
against traditional enemies that go all the way back to the times of like Persia. So these are military. The people that were fighting in the war are middle-aged males that are military-age males that are traditionally the enemies of Israel. So like what we're doing, what it would appear to be, if you wanted to read between the lines, is that we are like sifting through these and eliminating military-age males, for Israel, so that Israel's going to be.
Yes.
Because if Israel takes Gaza, right? If they're taking Gaza, if that's happening, it's a big affront to Islam, and so they have lots of people, lots of brothers in that area that are going to respond to it, and the way they respond is going to be, like they're going to attack them, right? And so before they do this, they're having us, go and comb through the whole area, and then turning it into weapons of mass destruction from Colin Powell. Colin Powell waving the vial of weapons of mass destruction. Colin Powell was he was a protege under Colin Powell speaks Yiddish. Colin Powell speaks Yiddish. But anyway, the whole thing is you gotta, this is just, you can think what you want to think, believe what you want to believe. I don't think it's right to, hold somebody accountable to something that they're not responsible for. I'm not saying that. I don't think it's right to think about things being a, some kind of pyramid scheme that then gets applied to hating a group of people or something like that. But in terms of the politics of what's going on, we just did a bunch of wars in the Middle East, and it made sense from the perspective of 9/11. It doesn't make sense historically in terms of our nation's soul and what we are, like the fabric of our nation, what we're supposed to be constitutionally. We're not supposed to be conquerors of foreign lands and occupiers of foreign lands. And, that's what we just did.
Well, that's how the country was formed.
Sorry to interject. When you said Yiddish there, I think you said British, and I was like, ugh, disgusting. How could you?
Well, I also saw, and again, I think it's multiple lines converging that are parallel, right? I think it's biblical in nature. I think it's people who do Satan's bidding, whether they're a part of a certain religion, whether they are atheist, and by default they're serving Satan, if you look at it from that standpoint. And going back to what you said, things change. If we look at it going in the Middle East from the perspective of 9/11, it sort of made sense if that's all you're looking at, right? But in retrospect, you got Hillary Clinton deleting 30,000 plus emails, and I can't prove any of this.
Saudi Arabia,
but I saw a bunch of people. I think it was a screen grab or something, but there was something about the giant, the Nephilim stuff in Iraq, right? And they were going back, and a lot of the stuff she deleted it had to go back with that. And so a lot of things, and you have the Smithsonian covering up evidence here on the home turf, and us going over there and
Grand Canyon.
Yeah, exactly. And a buddy of mine, one of my best friends, he's Native American, and I love the Native American lore and stuff. But even what they have, it goes back it's the same shit. Red-headed giants with 6 fingers and 6 toes, 2 rows of teeth. They're buried in the mounds, right? Like they were here. Same sort of shit. And it's like, okay, I can't prove any of that. But are all these people lying? I don't think so. Certainly not. 1% of them isn't lying. So if 1% of all this crazy shit that we're talking about is true, even just 1% of it, holy fuck.
Yep.
Well, I'll tell you
and
what.
It certainly is. It has to be, right? There's no way.
What will be? Well, you can make predictions about, the future of what is logically, what will logically happen. In my opinion, the big trigger event that you're gonna, in terms of geopolitics, that you would want to pay attention to, that is going to be pretty serious, is the fall, or if there is a transfer of power, or like a total takeover, or a destruction of the Al-Aqsa Mosque. So the Al-Aqsa Mosque was built on top of the Dome of the Rock, on top of the the temple site, the Temple Mount, the old temple site, and what is believed to be that. And so there is a head-to-head fight going on here between Islam and Judaism, and it's supposed to be like a I mean, the Al-Aqsa Mosque. I don't remember when I can't remember when they built that, but I mean, it's probably 1,000 years ago, I think. So it's been there for a long time, and the purpose of the Al-Aqsa Mosque is to be a trigger. So there's some sort of here I'm kind of fuzzy, but there is I think it starts a Mahdi war. So I think when the Al-Aqsa Mosque falls, it's going to trigger. It's supposed to, in prophecy, trigger a Muslim invasion of Israel. So if that happens, you're going to want to pay attention, because that's when things could get out of hand.
I also, and then I won't talk anymore on this. I'll let y'all talk. But I haven't done the deep dive on this, so this may very well not be correct. It may very well, be something that a lot of people learn from. Another buddy of mine, he's really into something along the same lines that Cokeman was talking about. And I believe this part. I don't know about the whole thing, but like that, not we're repeating timelines, but like we've lost civilization and they're covering it up on purpose. Like I think back to the World's Fair.
It only
and,
takes
some other
100
stuff.
years for everything that we've built right now to disappear.
Yeah, but in adding on to that, I think there's probably a concerted effort to hide the true nature of what's going on. And if it is biblical, as I, personally, that's what I believe. I'm a Christian, so that's kind of my standpoint on it
There's
is.
something
So,
to derive from it, regardless of what your belief system is.
well, I think some of these people, if it is biblical, I think tactically it makes sense. That my buddy said he thinks we're in the little season of Satan. He thinks they've deceived us into thinking we're in a certain part of what we read into Revelation in the Bible, and we're in a different one, and they're trying to hide that from us. And again, I don't have all the details on that. Just look into little season of Satan. My buddy, he won't stop talking to me about it. He's like, you got to fucking watch the videos. And I haven't done it, but some of it seems compelling, and it lines up with what I believe. We did have technology in the past and other civilizations, just through Göbekli Tepe. I said it right that time. They're definitely hiding shit, right? And the Smithsonian. So for what? For what reason?
History is written by the victor.
Yeah, you're saying the good guys? Yeah, of course they won every time, right?
No, the victor, not necessarily the good guys. whoever
Good
had
guys-
a bigger fucking
good guys
stick.
never win. They never win.
That's the old McDonald joke, right? He's like, it turns out the good guys won every time. What are the coincidences?
Sure did.
In contrast, no-hide shoes contain no animal hides, and chemicals are not used to produce them. Isn't that, you guys are talking about no-hide shoes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, for animals.
That's good to know. That's very good to know. That was an amazing tangent.
That was about an hour-long diversion from the super chats you were trying to grind your way through.
I attempted to get through some, and now there are more than when we started. Chromosome Hoarder 69 for $1.99 says, thank you. Says, get Pecco's tall hat on sometime. I will look into it.
That guy is a known anti-NIMDA actor. I'm not sure we should take everything he says seriously.
Well, if he's anti-NIMDA,
not to put myself on the pro-NIMDA camp. I'm just saying.
Grits. I almost read that his girls taste good. I was like, oh, geez, is this a Jeffrey Dahmer or Grand Thumb thing? Grits taste good for $5. What does oil up mean? Where does it come from? It's you're probably not invited to the same
Greece.
party as
Ancient Greece.
Patagucci for $1. Thank you. Patagucci for $2 says Carl loves his satanic cum chalice.
That guy hit enter way too soon.
The less that I know about what Carl has and hasn't done, the better. To get kicked out of the Church of Satan is quite an achievement.
Oh shit! I didn't know he got kicked out.
He got kicked out for real?
That's what I heard. Yes, is that he got kicked out of the Church of Satan.
That's hilarious.
Again, is that good or bad? Like, is that he's too bad for the Church of Satan, or is that he's actually bait as hell? And it's like the Church of Satan was like, no, that guy's too bait. I want to know. I would like to know.
But see, that's the thing. I don't think you actually want to know what he did to one of the church members.
I just want them to distill it to. Yeah, I want them to distill that information into a soundbite for me. That'd be nice.
Yes. Gat Mage for $5 says primary and secondary has killer subject matter expert dedicated podcast. Been binging on the old stuff. Yeah. I'll try and leave everybody's link in the description that has an active YouTube channel, which is actually only 3 of us as of the moment. But yeah, primary and secondary has great listening material, hours and hours and hours and
Days,
hours.
years.
If you ever get bored, there's no reason to.
You'll
You
be
have
more bored.
Well, you have a backlog of 405.
And that's just of the podcasts. Yeah.
Yeah, just the podcast. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
we turn
lots
10
of-
years old next month.
Are you gonna have a big 10-year anniversary stream?
No.
No, that's the thing. You gotta capitalize on those anniversaries.
We might.
Yeah,
We
good
might.
content. Aiden PM for 200 MX. I have no idea what that is or if that is real money whatsoever.
It sounds like fucking Tarkov currency, brother.
Too bad I don't even play that game. Such a beautiful stream, full of legends. Also, Hop, please be my male wife. I'm pretty sure
Get
that
out of here with your motocross money.
Can't do it, sir.
motocross. I'm pretty sure he's already taken by Brass. So get in
I'm
line.
spoken for by at least one woman and multiple men. So good luck.
Firearms fan for $4.99 says absolutely nothing. Throws $5 on the table. Thank you, sir. Chrisky, what happened to your Rumble videos? Asks Matthew B. Did you take down your Rumble? I tried to find it today.
Yeah, I took it down. I figured I think Cokeman was alluding to it in the beginning of the stream. There's no need to have that shit out there at this point. No one's watching on Rumble. That's all people would tell me. Go start a Rumble channel. I'm like, bro, I've been on Rumble this whole time. It automatically downloads or uploads the videos from YouTube, and it just did no traffic. And then I started thinking, I haven't had the FBI knock on my door yet, and so I already got kicked off. When I come back, I'll come back on my own terms with new content. I know there are people out there that downloaded every single video. Few of them. I know there's the guy Tarbers. I know he has a bunch of them, but yeah, no content right now.
Gotcha. Brian Isaacs for $2 says, hope this isn't turning into a Hassan stream. I hope so as well. That would be far too cringe. Bucket for $5 says, those IDF guys performed a late life circumcision on Garandcom. And now he's got all the slam pigs. Cope Goy. Thank you for the $5, sir. That was an excellent read. Paul Campbell for $5 says, how many people know that Garantham got his start as a name friend on K? Also, Cokeman, good to see you. Yes, I did hear that. I have been told that story about Grantham. Ever since I made a video, I've been given way too much information on that man.
I do wonder if that's part of the backlash against him. Is that he used to be part of? I mean, he was a real part of the community on K, and he was like, like a lot of people in the region had his personal cell number, and like he was a resource for local guys, and he was like involved in the community and everything. Like, I mean, to a great extent. At that time, he was a good part of that community. And so that's a big reason why people used to like him. And then, as of course always happens with Kay, as soon as he even distanced himself slightly from it, it became kind of an affront to them. So they got very upset. And then maybe he said something on a podcast where he was like, nah, I was never really into 4chan, and that really triggered them. I don't know. But like, yeah, that was legit, man. Like, he was a big part of the community back then, and people did appreciate that about him.
Slim Actual for $2 says, GT is going to climb up on Hop and impregnate him. Thank you for the $2, sir. For $4.99 says, Cokeman, airboat crocodile hunt with the Discord boys soon. Smoke lean and nut 5 to 7 times and stay hard. Also, bring vintage on. I'm gay. I have 2 dads. Thank you for the $4.99. Mall operator for 50 Canadian dollars says, in Canada, ARs aren't technically available. There are proprietary receiver sets compatible with most parts. I know BCM and DD are solid. Don't know about that last one. But I wanted to ask Hop's opinion on Rainier, JP, and Arrow, since those are the predominant budget options.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not like a real denizen of CanGen. I know from what I've heard from Canadian people is that there's like one company which is shady as hell and definitely a bad actor that just keeps changing its name every couple of months to try to continually sell the same fucking, either it's DOA or it never shows up or whatever. But like it's the same gun. Like we got this new gun. It's going to be Canadian compliant. It's going to be the best thing ever. And then either they don't deliver or they under deliver or whatever, and they just keep changing companies. So I mean, I know you guys are in like a real boxed market, and that sucks ass. But like, yeah, you would probably know better than me to not trust the domestic market for Canadian compliant bullshit.
You guys remember the Templar Crusader thingamajig that
Essentially, right? That's it. Yeah. So before Templar Crusader, there were 10 companies. After Templar Crusader, there were 10 companies. It's the same fucking guy trying the same shit over and over and over again. But so yeah, when you say like BCMDD, I don't know. Are those your only two options? If they are, okay, we can talk. If other stuff's going on, sure, we can worry about it. But like, yeah, I don't know. The Canadian gun market is not easy. But also you guys have stuff that we don't have. Like you can go ahead and buy just Chinese RPKs and shit. So
yep.
Swings and roundabouts, my friend.
The fact that Rainier's on there is interesting.
I don't think it's the Rainier you're thinking of. No, it's
Okay.
that again. Yeah, it's going to be one of those weird Canadian startups that's like totally.
Okay, yeah, that did seem strange to me as well, but that would be awesome. Juicy Media for 5 says, yes, Dugan, I'm the track hawk guy turned gun tuber and focus trip. I would love to join in on these if you'll have me.
Yeah, get that dude in here. He makes a fucking bunch of good videos. He's rich as fuck.
Can you just send me an email or a DM on something? And then, I'll check you out, man. I appreciate the $5 too. Thank you, sir. $4.99 Vintage Warfare. Cokeman's camera feed looks like a prison cell camera.
Because it is.
Yes, it is.
Is that just out of curiosity? Do you have it set up like that just because you like it, or it's out of the way, or?
Well, I just set it up there.
That's a security camera.
Right.
It's fucking perfect. It's great.
It really is great. I never would have considered ever just putting it up there like that. But he clearly doesn't give a fuck, right? Like it's great.
I was just make sure that anything super felony inducing is off frame, so we're good to go.
Oh wait, no, I already got that one. Thank you again, Vintage Firearms Fan for $9.99. Thank you, sir. Says, love the stream. Dugan, you're the man. I've become disenfranchised with a majority of big gun tube. They feel like fake and gay shills, which they are. What type of gun content do you guys look for to watch? Thanks.
Man, I'll tell you what, I totally feel what you're saying. Like, I mean, like the how I was talking about the censorship with YouTube, I started to see that the model for monetization also started at that time. So back then, YouTube used to pay out, I think they paid out a little bit more for views through Google AdSense.
Pay per click on advertisement.
But all that stuff, there's too much for them, so they had to, pull away from that, and then it forced, like I was doing all this work with Cardicon in the infancy, trying to figure out a way to make it, sustainable in terms of effort, and I could just never do it. And the only reason why is because I'm just not willing to shill. So the closest I ever got to shilling was Kevin Brittingham sent me. He sent me the P320 when they first came out, like when they were like brand new, nobody knew nothing about it. He sent one. And then, by the way, I recommended that was a combat pistol. And that wasn't on anybody's radar. I recommended that. And then the Army selected it. And then the Army didn't pay me for my recommendation. Okay. So I won't pay them for that. But, I could never figure out how to monetize Carnicon without selling my soul. And so, it just kind of led to the demise of my motivation to continue putting in all that work to do it. It was just a part of, many, many small cuts. But I think, I really like a lot of the, I like the way that there has been a shift into, I actually like the LARPing, like camping and people, essentially what's happening is that people are reproducing the militia, and they're doing it inadvertently or not purposefully, because they're not talking about it that way. But what's really going on is that people are basically, conducting FTXs on their own accord without having, a background or understanding of military training. And this is stuff that used to happen a long time ago. Like if you went back to the 1700s in the colonies, this is stuff that would, occur. This is how you have militias being able to form in the first place is, they're practicing things. So I really like that the video from YouTube about gun-centric stuff has really started. It just started, but it's pushing. It's kind of like ebbing and flowing out in that direction. And I don't know where that's going to go, but I think it's interesting. So that's, I don't really watch a lot of the gun content. I'll watch some random stuff if there's a new, cool pistol out. Johnny told me about that. Keltec P1722. I didn't even know that dropped. That's like years old. I never even saw that. I'm like going down to I'm gonna go down to Whiteman and pick one of those up right away. That thing is rad. Anyway, I don't know who I'm trying to make explosive videos. So if you want to learn about explosives, or essentially what I've done or what I'm trying to do is I don't want the terrorist wanting to hurt people. I don't want them watching my stuff. I'm not making it for I'm making it. It's like if you did need it, you got to find the information somewhere, and you got to know what to do. You got to know what to look at if that's even a situation that even comes about. And there's not a whole lot of explosive overlay with the Second Amendment community, but it should be, because you're watching videos right now of how bad things get when you got some armor coming through. Like when you're facing off against armor, you're facing off against tanks and APCs. Your 5.56 and 7.62 and 50 BMG is going to be pretty ineffective. So it's really like to have a proper militia, there really has to be kind of an understanding of explosives.
Yeah, no, that's awesome, and that's something that the industry is lacking as of right now. So, and that's going to be on your Ashley Dugan 1337 channel.
Yeah, I think the name on it is just Doug, because I'm trying to make it kind of obscure.
I did pin it to the top of the chat, so it's been there the entire stream. If you didn't want people to know about it, so it's been there.
Whoops.
No, that's fine. That's fine. It's just I mean, if you go there, enjoy it. Just don't. Hopefully, you don't like the cool questions, the KEWL questions of like how do I make a bomb? Like
how do I blow up the White House?
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I'm trying to avoid. I don't want the near dual action.
Garan Koom will see this. He will share your channel.
He's going to be the one Fed posting in the chat. Sandmeister for 199 says, knowing that Hop is an OG Resident Evil fan warms my heart.
Not even. I know about them. I just don't think they're very good. I think 4 and 5 are pretty good, and the rest of the franchise kind of sucks ass. So no offense, but yeah.
I've never touched a single Resident Evil game.
Somebody just mentioned this in the chat. Y'all got to look at this. I hope you think this shit is as funny as I do. So I went, a buddy of mine, he's got a little motorcycle shop, and we drink beers there. And he had this M16 just sitting on a bike, like right out front. And I was like, bro, what the fuck do you have? And it had a mag in it. I'm like, why do you have an M16 with a magazine in it? And the shop's open all the time. He goes, it's a rubber duck, dude. And I was like, a rubber duck. So I'm like drinking. I'm like, I haven't touched a rubber duck in years. So I'm fucking around with it. And I see the label and I'm like, I want one of these rubber ducks. So I go to the website. It's called Inert Product. I think it's inertproducts.com. It's inert. Yeah, I think that's what it is. They're like the DoD supplier of rubber ducks. Apparently, they're the DoD supplier of all of the explosives training aids. So like for the Op4 to have like S vests and them have like cases of RPGs, they have rubber ducks of all of this. Cool. They have rubber ducks or not rubber ducks. They have fake mobile meth labs. When you see, and I say this like, it's fucking hilarious. Whoever has the name, who is naming this shit,
suicide vests,
dude. Yes, and when you look at them, it's like ISIS training vest, and it's like if you got caught with this shit going home,
holy shit,
fucking meth
seen
labs.
that shit before. They are not cheap either.
You will laugh your ass off when you let your gears going in your mind. Some of the names of these things are hilarious, and the props that they let you even look at in the pictures. It's like, what are they fucking doing? They don't care at all because they got the government money and contracts. That's my only conclusion here.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Lucius Chappelle for $5 says, if y'all want to learn who those people are, research Whitney Webb. I don't know what you're talking about, sir. Ryan Chapman for $1.99 says, it's going to get worse before it gets worse. Gorilla Raccoon. Yes.
All right.
Yep. Willie McDuff says, I have a swarm of AI drones in my basement tent. I think he meant basement, sir. Yeah, it's going to be private arsenals of drones flying around in Appalachia, taking out each other's warlords. Josh for $2 says, where'd you get that cheese, Danny?
I'm making them at night.
That's right.
That's right. Brandon Coral for $1.99 says, good night. Hop is the better than James Reeves. Well, your spelling is the better than like a 4-year-old's.
I don't know. That man's got like multiple jobs and a wife, and I'm unemployed and single and so sad. So I'm not really sure that's true.
So as far as I'm concerned, he knows a hell of a lot more than I ever will.
Hop, as you can see, though, a lot of the commenters said they want to make you their wife. So you have that going for you.
There is sex appeal from gay men, so there is that.
I don't know if
That's not exactly what I'm going for, but I will keep it in mind as sort of like a fallback plan.
Something. It's like money in a currency you can't use. You know, it's like, oh, that's cool.
Just make sure you wear a condom.
Hey, I gotta go.
Side of the outside.
Oh, you're good, homie. Yeah, Risky was on call tonight, so good luck, sir, in your endeavors. Just Some Space Cowboy for $2 says, next time, get Alex Jones on. Yeah, I'm sure that would be an amazing get.
Fuck yeah, dude, we get his ass on here.
They were
Really.
supposed, I thought somebody was saying that they were potentially going to be putting him in as the press secretary for the.
I saw those memes floating around. That was never real.
That would be so hilarious. I wish
That
that
would
there
be
was some extreme stuff like that.
Like if everything's gonna go down in flames, it might as well just be funny, right?
Just imagine. I just think it's hilarious how smug. Like, imagine how smug the press is, and especially in those press conferences. Like how I mean, it's like they've got a stick in their pants up their ass when they're, like the tension in those rooms when they're like having arguments. It's just like so fake and dramatic. And just imagining Alex Jones in there, like they're turning the frogs gay, up there on the podium, like, and dealing with all the professional reporters. Like, it's just the best. I mean, I can't imagine anything better.
They should be brilliant. People would actually turn into the press briefings just to see what's going to happen. Ryan Chapman for $1.99 says, where's Sacco? Sacco did not make an appearance. That was a different cat, wasn't it?
He did briefly.
Oh.
I brought him on camera, and he got mad at me, and he got mad at you guys, and then he left.
Patagucci says, come on, Nimba, lift up your shirt and shake it. Please don't. I do not want to see that, actually. Victoria's Dead for 99 cents says nothing. Thank you, sir. We appreciate it. Sal for $5 says, wish Cokeman would type more into Bang Dog Discord. My favorite crackhead, lesbian, and schizo in one place.
Yeah, don't call me a lesbian.
Trust me, they weren't calling you that.
Yeah,
he fucking checked out. I talked to him like 5 years ago. He wanted to do a collab, and then he checked the fuck out.
Ryan Chapman for $1.99. Can we see the mask, Risky? No, he left, sir. I am very sorry for that.
I have a Risky mask. I can put it on if you'd like.
There you go. Paragon for $2 says, why are Aiden's eyebrows weird? It's just the way he was born, sir. He can't really help it. Victoria's Dead comes in for $1.99, says, Langley is asking if y'all can wrap this thing up. I'm sorry.
I do love that shit. Somebody who's like trying to like fucking flex on like, oh, I got your docs. Like, motherfucker, everybody's got my docs. It's on my TFE writers page. It's not special. You can just post that shit.
Well, doxing a gun tuber is about the dumbest fucking thing ever, because it's like, oh, you think any of us are afraid of someone coming to our fucking house?
Look at that.
Hey, John, you got to show the one I made that actually is used for something.
I have that. It's going to be in my next video whenever I get to actually editing my next video.
Excellent. I'm glad you tried it out.
Dude, I'm so sorry. So he sent me a couple of his masks to wear. right? And I left them in a box next to my welder, and then like 2 months go by, and then I'm like, hey, what's in this box? And it's stuff that he sent me that I literally has not moved in 2 months. I was like, oh, now I feel bad. So I'm sorry about that, John.
It's all good. Hop's going to like the setup on it. It actually works well.
Dude, that would give Lucas Botkin's new rock helmet setup a run for its money in terms of a budget setup. Nicholas Bauman for 199 says, become Orthodox. Read Friar Seraphim Rose. Is that Friar or Father? That might have been Father, so I might have said that wrong. But yes, I do know Seraphim Rose. Nice dude. Jess Howells for $2 says, they, you know who, pregnant emoji man. Crayon Eater Prepper for $5 says, alphabet people comes from Zionism, and the Jews basically run the entertainment industry. I know what part of the stream this came from. It was like an hour-long section. Roster for $5 says, Dugan, please stay away.
Get a straw. You're right. That's how Chrisky used to do it. Hang on.
You don't own a pager, do you?
I don't need to worry about that shit because I'm freelance and they probably got the micro explosives for me.
Right. Eggnog for $9.99 says they put the chips in the bagels. Thank you, sir. Machiavelli Customs 5716 says, what do you guys know about Europa, The Last Battle? I think that was a film about a painter, if I'm not mistaken.
I tried to watch that because people always like on the chans and stuff. People are always talking about that. I didn't think I wasn't that into it. Artistically. You know what I did think? What I did think was really interesting is have you guys seen these AI memes of their passages from Mein Kampf, like Adolf Hitler's book, Mein Kampf, and they're like AI reading it with like AI video of what is happening in the book. And it's like these amazing little clips where you're like watching and you're like, huh. And you're like, this is kind of like right now. It's like there's like normal people eating these things up. Like they're getting so many views. I don't know who's making them. It's like several different groups of people making these things. They're like everywhere. I'm seeing them all over the place.
Well, dude, AI propaganda is so easy to... I mean, I do AI stuff, right? So AI propaganda is so easy to make, and it takes no money, right? You need a computer, you need access to the internet. So, like, that sort of stuff, people are absolutely, like, taking advantage of that.
It's really interesting for sure. It's interesting what... just the idea that in a couple of years, you're not going to be able to discern an AI image or AI video from actual imagery. I mean, it's going to be really interesting because it's going to force humanity into a new paradigm where you just can't believe your lying eyes. Everything's going to have to be in the flesh. Everything's going to have to be a handshake because you're not going to be able to. I mean, the digital world is just going to be completely.
Well, so on that AI stuff, scammers through Facebook and through Instagram have already cloned people's voices, and then they will call their loved ones with a live version of this other person speaking to scam relatives, out of what
somebody that my relatives know.
Because the tech can do it fast enough and good enough live. And there are even live face changers that you can make that are not quite there yet, but you can live face swap. Like this live stream, if I had that program open, I could swap my face to whatever I wanted it to be, right? Which I've thought about doing as a joke, to do like a short section of a stream pretending to be somebody else, and then have it like pre-recorded and have me actually come in at the same time, which I thought would be funny, but I haven't figured out how to make that work yet.
The scamming stuff that you're talking about with AI, that's really concerning, and it's really it's interesting because almost like the governments of the world, because now the governments take care of everything. People don't take care of anything themselves anymore. You can't fist fight. You can't do anything anymore. But there's really no way to solve that. Especially if it expands the scamming thing, you can't really solve it. It's something that has to be, like society itself has to solve it. You have to de-incentivize it, so that it's not just like a free for all where it's just like, well, how good can my scam be? How much shit can I get? I'm never going to get caught. I mean, it's I think people that do that kind of stuff are like, I don't really care what happens to them.
Right, the lowest of the low, scamming grandmas out of their little pension checks and whatnot.
I get reports of those on a regular basis, and responding to those and talking to them. They had no idea, and definitely the elderly are being taken advantage of. Without a doubt.
If you're a guy that does that, man, if somebody dumps you face down in a ditch, I'm not going to lose any sleep.
Aura F16 for $10 says cat. We agree. Brandon Schill for $2 says, been missing you, Risky. Stay frosty. Yeah, he appreciates it. Jonathan Segura for $1.99 says Carl is also on the no-fly list.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Is he actually on the no-fly list?
Yeah.
Is it because they're like superstitious and they think he's going to curse the plane with Satanism or something?
There ain't no telling why.
Carl's mixed up in a lot of really weird random stuff.
Yeah, he's a cuck.
No. That's how it starts.
That is how it starts.
You start getting a little degenerate, and before you know it, you're, just doing all sorts of crazy stuff. Bunser for $4.99 says, at Dugan, how do you feel about your collabs with in-range TV in the past?
I would like to answer that because it was because of me they happened.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
I'm the one that put it together. So in defense of Dugan didn't know what he was getting into. At the time, I got along with Carl wonderfully. And we did some podcasts together. Had really, really good discussions. He had a very unique perspective that I don't share, but I could appreciate. And then we got together to do this video shoot with Dugan, and I already was in contact with Dugan. I thought, how cool would it be with the three of us getting together, putting together some interesting things. And then the videos were fun. Hanging out with everyone was an absolute blast. We had a great time, and then things kind of went kind of weird, and I lost touch with Carl, and yeah.
Well, his shit about that Ruby Ridge bullshit was really what fucking was like, dude, what the fuck are you on about, man? Just like shut up.
I didn't even see that.
Well, I'll tell you from my perspective, like working with Carl on videos, I really liked it, in person. When the first issue that I had with it was the editing, because I just, I'm not going to dictate what another guy edits or how, what he does. He's going to do what he's going to do. That's my risk if I'm going to be in a video. But like there were a couple of the videos where it was like, like I'm watching this video. The one, do you remember the one with the Germans? That was like, it was a funny video, right?
The concept was hilarious.
Yeah, the concept was hilarious. At the end of the video, I saw this thing. I was like excited to see. I was like, "Oh, great! He edited this. Let's see what he goes." He put in like, okay, so there's an image of dead Wehrmacht, like German Wehrmacht soldiers killed in World War II, dead on the ground. At the end of the video, to like, I guess it's like to convince the audience that like I'm not a, Carl's telling everybody like I'm not a Nazi, so I put some images of dead Wehrmacht, but it's like. I'm pretty sure the unit that's standing over the dead Wehrmacht is like that's my old sister unit, infantry unit from Germany, from when I was like stationed in Germany. So it's just like, it's just disrespectful of Wehrmacht soldiers, to show their dead bodies and something that's so, like, I mean, he doesn't have a personal connection to that to really be, putting that up. And it was just kind of like disrespectful of the dead. And I didn't like that. And so that was like the first thing that, kind of messed me up. And then I thought the gay scene with the clay, I thought it was like way too long. Like when we were filming that, I was like, okay, we're doing, we're getting all the shots. He's going to edit this, right? He's going to edit it. And so we got plenty of material here. I didn't realize that he was just going to show the whole, like the entire thing and just like show the entire shoot that's supposed to be cut. And so it was just like way, way too gay, So like, those were my only two.
Not that there's anything wrong with it.
Well, I would have liked to have had a say in that,
Yeah.
But the editing room there. But other than that, I mean, those are my two biggest complaints. All the other stuff, like all the rumors
In the moment.
stuff,
in the moment, the
tried to-
creative stuff was just awesome.
Yeah, it was fun.
Like
And
when
I really
the
liked
Band-Aid.
your videos too. I enjoyed your videos. I thought they were a lot of
Hey,
fun.
Dugan, Matt. In all fairness, he did promote Dugan's GoFundMe when he was getting sick when he first got real sick. So I just want to say that.
Absolutely. And we were, and I think I can speak for Carl, still are fans of Dugan. We shot up some helmets. We had Dugan as the shooter, and on one of the shots, he was shooting a 44 mag and accidentally sliced his thumb. And we're like, oh man, do we have a Band-Aid? And I don't remember who thought of it, but let's turn this into a video. I think I presented a tourniquet as a joke. And it was, what was it? What was the cheapo, not cheap, but what was the elastic band tourniquet?
Yeah, the rat. Yeah.
The rats. Yeah. So I presented one of those as a joke. And that morphed into a really, to me, that was a hilarious video. Super short, right to the point. Then it was talking about how everyone needs to do stuff on social media. And this guy's in a war zone and he gets this little tiny cut on his thumb and he puts on a tourniquet and then he takes a picture of it to post it. And I just thought, man, that is hilarious.
Concept.
Yeah.
It was cool. It was a fun time. We shot that at one of the old, that whole day we were filming at the old White Sands missile. It's like the Titan missile launch site. It's just like an old decommissioned government missile site.
Yeah.
Really cool background.
Awesome site. Had a couple buddies there to assist doing background stuff for us. It was absolute blast.
Carl, if you're listening, I made a spiral and called you out for being a Baphomet screwing Satanist, but forgive me, man. I got triggered. My bad, dude. My bad. Do what you want, Bapho fuck whatever you want, man. You do you, dude.
The way I look at it is like with like we're talking about the Grantham topic and the Carl topic. The way I deal with it is that God is going to put whatever situation I need to deal with is going to put it right in front of me. All the other situations for everybody else, I don't have to worry about those because they're too enumerated and there's too much wacky shit that everybody is doing all the time. Like I can't tell what's real. I can't tell what's, an exaggeration. I don't know. So if somebody does something in front of me, then I'll deal with it then. I'll express if I disagree or I'll, make a judgment. If God puts that, in front of me to be done. But in terms of like the internet, I'm just not into the gossip and the slander and stuff.
That's where people lose the cognitive dissonance is up on that point right there. It don't matter what the fuck is going on this stupid fucking screen in one room of your house. What the fuck is happening right in front of your face?
I was just upset that Grantham stole my style, my look, but he didn't pull my swag because I don't pull pussy the way he does. That's some bullshit, dude.
I agree. If somebody takes your material, I think it's fair game. You're fair game to criticize.
Which actually leads perfectly into this next super chat. Deform 581 for $5 says, has anyone been following that case in South Korea involving a certain waste of human being, Johnny Somali?
Oh,
so if you
fuck that dude.
Fuck that guy. He should go to jail.
He looks like a fucking little goblin or something. He looks like he belongs to get thrown in a fucking wood chipper, wood doors.
Legal Mindset does some really good breakdowns on what he's done. Basically, in South Korea, they have all these statues of women who are monuments to the South Korean women who were taken captive by the Japanese army and used as comfort women, essentially sexual slaves, right, for the Japanese army, right? And so he was going around to these different statues and like really disrespecting them, doing terrible things. He was, making messes in people's restaurants. And he's now in jail, and he's facing like 5 different criminal counts. So
he's the dude that was going around Japan fucking doing on the subway saying Hiroshima, Nagasaki, Hiroshima, Nagasaki.
Well,
Dude,
so
you don't go to Asia and disrespect those people like that. They have a very disciplined culture. You don't.
Dude, we fucked him up enough, man.
Yeah, I don't like that at all. I don't like, I think a lot of those Asiatic societies are really, in the light of things, they're really peaceful societies. They really hold on to their own tradition and their own races. They're very good at, preserving themselves and not being, not going with the latest trend or the whims of the breeze that's coming by. I think it's just jacked up to disrespect them. Don't disrespect the Asiatics.
100%. Patagucci for 5 says Hop would know a lot about the K. He got bullied off of GQ for thinking psionics could be just as good.
That's just objectively false. If you think that's true, you are dumb. And I know who that is. And unfortunately, now that I know that he's dumb, it's going to be hard to take him seriously going forward.
All right, I have no idea about any of that situation, so that's just funny. Dr. Fuzzy One says for $1.99, what happened to Mod O? Is he coming back? Mod O shot himself in the back of the head 6 times. So, no, he is not coming back. He might actually come back. Give him like a month or two.
What are we talking about there? Can you explain that? I don't understand.
Mod O is a Instagram meme account. I think at one point he had the biggest gun meme account on Instagram. He was also very close friends with Garand Thumb. He was the person to break the story about Ashley and Mike breaking up and Garand Thumb cheating. He then receives a phone call at night from Garand Thumb crying and then ends up deleting his post. He passes off the info to me and says, I'm done with this. And then he deletes his account like 2 days later. And he deleted his regular account and his personal account, which not many people know about. So I tried to reach out. I have no contact with him. So the joke about him killing himself is that Grantham got to him, which I don't think is actually true. I think he got so much hate for that so fast that he just decided to take a break. So it's possible he might be back, but also possibly not. Yeah. DP Chief 216 says, all hail Hop, king of the lesbians.
What's up with the
There is no Hop. I'm standing in for Chrisky right now.
Hop is
a
attractive Squidward.
I got the mask. I got the straw.
There you go. Nate Train for $4.99 says BCM versus DD. DD seems overpriced, and I don't believe in the Holocaust.
Yeah, fuck Daniel Defense.
Yeah, I'd rather go BCM.
Their politics are bullshit. I'm sure their product is maybe marginally better, but both.
No, it's not even better. It's just heavier.
There's so many better options out there for the money, dude.
Do you guys like the FN PSA barrels? Those chrome line ones?
Well, so I like the FN barrel.
Right. Yeah, I like the FN barrels too.
Yeah, it's primary. Yeah. The problem with PSA usually is their barrels and their bolt carrier groups, right? So if you make the barrel FN and you put in a bolt carrier group from, some reputable company, you don't have a PSA anymore, right?
But you do, because it's not to FN spec. It might be a second FN.
That is also true. Now, I have had good luck with the FN barrels from PSA that they could be worse. Yeah.
The metallurgy on those I don't know. So I haven't bought a PSA. I bought them when I first heard that, I heard in the industry about PSA doing, they were getting runs from FN. And then there was super cheap when they first started. So this would have been like a decade ago. And I was like, oh shit. I just bought a bunch of barrels, because I was like,
yeah, I had an episode where we spoke to one of the people that actually works at that company, FN, and we discussed that. And yeah, like anything else, there are qualities, or there are levels of quality. There are also specific specs where they build the barrels to the specific spec. So there are 2 possibilities. There's the possibility it is a second, and that's why it's so cheap. There's also the possibility it's built to a specific spec that PSA put out. Currently, I just recently saw, I don't remember on what Discord server, there's currently a PSA complete rifle going for, what was it, like $450? Just absolutely insane. Hey, if you've never had an AR, what a great place to start. And if I'm not going to bring up the pedigree stuff. It's really tempting.
Well, but dude, look, PSAs are fucking disposable. If there's something wrong with it, fucking fix it yourself, dude. The reason you paid what you paid for it was because it has fucking pitfalls.
Exactly. And
It's
just
like a
enjoy it.
disposable camera at a fucking amusement park, dude.
Yep.
I'm still a stickler on Delton, man. I still think Delton
gosh.
makes some of the best affordable.
Do they still exist?
Technically, yeah.
Oh, okay.
They don't go to
Delton
any of
was
the shows or
like the
anything.
precursor for
the Delton
PSA.
uppers that I've had have been fine. I've never had an issue with a Delton.
You can
Not that-
fix something that's out of spec on an AR-15 so easily compared to literally any other fucking weapon platform. They're Legos, dude. Like,
They are.
if one piece doesn't work, fucking replace it. You're good to go.
I have one PSA FN barrel that I did a 20-inch upper. Man, that thing is so, oh man, it's my, I think, it's just random because I have some that aren't as good performance. I have one that is just like so accurate. It doesn't have any point of zero shift with suppressors. Like I slaughter deer with this thing. This is like my deer hunting rifle. I shoot them like right in the head every year. It's the best. 20-inch.
Well, 20
Gang,
inches is
gang.
what there you go. Sutton Who has a question for $2. And I feel like that is more than a $2 question, but thank you, sir. Rooster for $5 says, another person educated on the tribe is Blackpill, Devin Stack. Yeah, I could actually get Devin Stack on the platform. Yeah, followed him for a long time. Really good videos before he moved off. Mitchell Black for $4.99 says, question for everyone. If you're looking for a homestead, would it be better to find cheaper property in a blue state or stay in a red state?
Stay in a red state. Stay in a
Yeah.
red state. I'm in a blue
Red
state.
state.
Go to
Red
Wyoming.
I'm telling you right now, I live in an agricultural area of Missouri that is forgotten. Like nobody cares about this area. It's, the old, I live in the area that was the old Civil War, Bushwhacker War with the, Jayhawkers in Kansas fighting the Missouri Bushwhackers. Anyway, nobody gives a fuck about anything out here. I can go out here right at 2:00 in the morning and detonate like a 20 kilogram ammo charge, and like nobody cares. Nobody cares. It's the best. You're gonna have so much privacy. You definitely want to get out of blue states. You want to get rural and red states.
Yep. Yeah, South Dakota, where I live now, I've lived here for the last 2 years after moving out of Washington. I was there for 27. The people are better. Like we were just at like 2 hours before the stream started. We were at the church's Thanksgiving dinner, and we've only been going to this church for a little while. Everybody comes up to us. Our kids can run around. We're not afraid of anything out here. People leave their bikes unchained up on the next to where they live. It's great. I don't have any problems with it here. The only problem I have with South Dakota is that it is flat and hideous. Shekel Warlock for $2 says, Hop, not the beer straw. No.
I learned everything I know from Risky Chrisky.
There you go.
The straw is perfect.
The man is some kind of genius, I swear to God.
Nice paint job, by the way.
Wasn't me. All Chrisky. He sent this to me.
Oh, nice. That's cool. Grits Taste Good for $2 says, Yanny or Laurel?
What does that mean?
I literally have no.
Dated reference. Don't worry about it. Skip.
What's the reference from? Let's know. Hook for $2 says Blackpilled is on Odyssey. Yeah, I know he's on Odyssey, but he's mostly doing live streams now. He doesn't actually make videos. At least from what I know. But he does come on to YouTube live streams, so I think I could get him on. Rooster for 2 says, please get Devin Stack on here at some point. I could do that. I am sure I could do that. That would be a fun time.
Since we're having so many, we're having like a lot of, I don't know, what a certain flavor of, discussions here. I wanted to tell a story. Could I tell a story? Could we take an intermission?
No, that was it. That was the last one. So we are all done. Whatever you guys want to do, go for it.
Okay. I was going to tell the story. I was going to tell a story of like, when I was out of the military, I was working in the industry. I started moonlighting at gun stores, stuff like that. And there was a university. I was working at a gun store in a city, big city, university. so one of the guys that I was working with, you know, I'm out of the military. The other guy is a contractor. He's contracting in China, which is really interesting. So he's doing you know, PMC contracting in China, and then he's stateside right now. And then he came to me at lunch break and he was like, hey man, I got a flyer at the university. He was taking classes on the GI Bill. He's like, I got a flyer at the university for this Zionist Organization of America, you know, event. Do you want to go to this? And I was like, oh yeah, like, you know, back then I was naive, so I was like, oh yeah, man, let's go check it out. What's going on here? This is going to be some crazy stuff. Little did I know, I had no idea how this was going to end up. So we go walking into this auditorium to just like check it out, and what we're thinking in our heads is like, hey, we're gonna, you know, it's gonna be dark. It's gonna be like a movie theater. We're gonna sit back. We're gonna see what's going on with the ZOA, with the Zionist Organization of America on campus. They're going to have some crazy political takes. You know, it's going to be exciting, right? Man, we walked in this room and you could have heard a pin drop. There were 250 people all turned their head at one time. It was like an old auditorium with wood seats. You couldn't, like, every single one of them had a yarmulke on. They were just all just staring right at me. And this other guy is big old fucking contractor coming out of China. Like he's like an ex-Marine. I'm like ex-military. We were like real beefy at this time. And, you know, we're like, it's so bad. The look is so obvious that we can't leave. Like it's one of those situations where you're trapped and you can't get out. Like if you left, it would be so weird. So we're like, okay, we're just going to get in this first row here. We'll just mosey on over. So we're shuffling. We're getting into our seats. Bro, they had a guy, some Israeli official from the Israeli government doing some PowerPoint presentation was just totally bogus. It was fake. It was just like the most, it was like, I'll tell you what it was like. I was watching the PowerPoint presentation and this guy started sweating and he just wouldn't stop sweating. It was more and more and more sweat. I didn't understand what was going on. As he went through the slides, I realized that this guy made his PowerPoint presentation on the plane from Israel to America. So this PowerPoint presentation is just like, you know, it's just like the wackiest, laziest, crazy. Like he's going through slides and he's realizing like, oh, this shit doesn't make sense. You know, he's like, oh, he's getting like hot. He's pulling on his collar and he's just got like beads of sweat coming down. And like everybody in the auditorium is also noticing that this is happening. And they're all just turning their heads and looking at me and this other dude, and we're stuck. We're like stuck in here. Like we're not leaving. We can't get out. We got to sit through the whole fucking thing. And they had a security element. So it was like the event was hosted by Chabad, like the Orthodox, you know, traditional Orthodox Jewish group is like running this thing. And they start pulling out a security element and they start like going to the side of the auditorium and they start taking photos of us. And so like my friend is now like freaked out because he's like active PMC, go to China and stuff. And he's like, man, this is gonna like fuck up my whole future here. And he's like, they're trying to hide his face. They're trying to pull biometrics of like taking photos and shit of everybody.
Jesus Christ.
They're pretending like they're taking pictures of the like the whole crowd, you know. So they're like trying to make it look like it's like a wide frame, you know, picture. Like, oh, we're just taking. There's like it's probably like 3 people. So there's like 3 people stacked taking cell phone pics, and then we got so paranoid from this shit that when we left this thing, it finally ended. It was finally over. We left and we went and had like a little powwow, like 100 meters from this auditorium, where we were like looking over our shoulders like there's somebody behind us. And we're like, dude, what do we do?
That's that is creepy.
Yeah. So this guy was like, he was like, okay, so what? So if you're slow, so what happened? You know, from my judgment, is that what happened is that there is some sort of espionage system going on at the universities, using the universities as cover. They're using these ZOA conferences or whatever, speeches or whatever, that's like the excuse for why this diplomat is like coming there, right?
Well, dude,
And
that's
so
how COVID got fucking released, was through university shenanigans.
Oh, sure, yeah. But the whole thing, what I'm saying is that the whole thing is a cover. It's not real. They just need an excuse to move through the United States for something else, which I don't know what it is. Like, I don't know why they're there. We just found the cover. And so, like, we're not supposed to be there. Like, we are the odd, like, we are not fitting in. We are not supposed to be there, and they know it, and we know it. So now it's super dangerous. So then the guy's like, he's like, we're thinking hard. We're like, man, what is going to go on?
Yeah.
He's like, okay, considering the situation, I think what we should do is call the FBI, report it. So there's like a record of us like narking, and it'll make us look like idiots because we'll just say that, like, we'll just put a report on there that, hey, this is what's going on. Maybe it's like espionage or whatever. So we did that report. One day later, the dude from the security element came into my work in another city,
brother.
At a gun store. While I was working in a gun store, like, I was in the back eating an apple, and then I hear like a ding, and then I like look, and it's the dude with the camera that was like taking pictures. So these guys, like, they figured out. I mean, I don't know what happened, but it was like some crazy. Like, I almost shot this guy when I saw him because I was so freaked out. And man, it was just like an intense, crazy story. And the moral of the story is that you do not want to fuck with Haban Lubavitch. That's the moral of the story. Don't fuck with him.
That's amazing.
Also, FBI didn't do shit. FBI didn't want to investigate anything.
Yeah, the FBI never does shit until they're ready to blow your goddamn head off.
They were like, when we said the diplomat, when we said his name, we were like, hey, this is the guy that's coming through here, and they were like, they told me on the phone. I mean, they told me, mouth to ear. They said, hey, we know about this guy. Like, we're tracking this guy. It was just all total bullshit. Like, they were just like, stop talking about it. Stop calling us. Stop reporting this. Like, that was the whole thing. I mean, I'm telling you, man, it was the craziest thing. From then on, that was like a huge red pill for me. From then on, I just never trusted, there's like no, you call federal government for anything, like you're asking for it, man,
Hey, Hop's back.
Oh, hey, guys.
Where'd you go?
Oh, I had to go do some other stuff for a while, but like, I'm back. It's cool.
Yeah, there's some other guy with a mask on.
Yeah.
I'm back too. I'm definitely not Hop in disguise.
That was one of the worst sounds to ever hit my ears, Cokeman. Or Risky, sorry. Anyways, that is 3.5 hours
of delightful discussion.
A variety of topics. I want to thank everyone for being on the stream. Cokeman, Jonathan Piccone, Dugan Ashley, Hop, Matt Landfair, Risky, Chrisky. Only half of these people even made the thumbnail, right? Because before I started, I wasn't planning on having everybody on. But hey, here we go. But before we get out of here, is there anything you guys want to shill? You got your time to promote your own stuff or say where you want people to go, or just say it's time to go to bed, gentlemen?
Go follow Hop.
Oh, please don't.
I'd like
Eat
to
my
say,
shorts.
I'd like to say, whatever's going on in this country, just be grateful, people. Have a gratitude attitude. I know shit sucks sometimes, but go out, get some training, wear a condom, have dick
while you
discipline,
train,
and go out, get some training. Wear your plate carrier if you want. Find some homies that are like-minded and hit the woods, and just be grateful, man.
I agree with Piccone. I think be grateful. I think you should not wear a condom and make babies. That's what I think. But everything else he said, I think is okay.
One of the best things in my life, kids.
You're married to. That's my stance on it.
I would say, like, if you think guns are fun, if you think guns are serious, if you think it doesn't really matter what you think so much. The fact of the matter is, Cokeman, JP, Dugan Ashley, Landfair, Chrisky, every single spectrum of the potential interest you could have in guns is represented right now.
True.
And these are good ambassadors of that. It doesn't matter what level you engage gun ownership at. Somebody here is here for you. So check these guys out.
I endorse this message.
Yeah, I mean, I just here's the problem, man. You think like, hey, this entire group of people can be summarized into one single human being or one type of engagement with a hobby, and that's not true. There are going to be Cokeman people, they're going to be JP people, they're going to be Dugan Ashley people, they're going to be Landfair people, they're going to be Chrisky people. This doesn't work if we don't have all these people. So check them all out. These people are good people. I don't know about Focus Strip though.
Yeah,
the guy fucking talks about Chinese shit.
That guy,
all the time.
He's just a drama queen, bro.
What is he? What is he? Just like pumping out children with only one wife? What a weirdo, dude.
Well, with that in mind,
where is his second wife?
Oh,
the community.
Wait a minute. No. He's Mormon. Oh,
ooh,
so no, my favorite thing to say with all my podcasts, when I remember to say it, is make sure you support those sources that you found to be beneficial. Right now, all of us are doing some form of gun content. The fact that there are guns behind me, I already have strikes against me. The fact that we talk about them is a bad thing. Hop has video games. You, the listener or the viewer, have to be our algorithm. If you like what you're hearing, you need to give likes, you need to give shares. If any of these guys are providing some kind of an insight that helps you understand something better, share that, because the algorithm sure as hell aren't helping us. And YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, all these places that we use to try to spread the good word, it's working against us. So that's where you, the listener, comes in and help. Actually, ultimately, you're helping everyone out, not just the creator, but even the people that might be influenced by that. Yeah, I might as well.
Landfair, not to put too fine a point on this, but Half-Life 2 fucking sucks, brother.
I know it was re-released though, and there were some things. I'm done with it. I'm now on episode 1.
There you go.
Which is like the worst one, dude.
I'm gonna be starting. What's the one that was just released today? I'm old now, so I can't.
Stalker 2. Yeah.
Stalker 2, yes.
Well, I mean, okay.
I'm gonna try that
I don't
tonight.
know. I can't speak to that yet, but what I've heard is
I'm
not
about
positive.
to. Oh yeah, especially on your Discord.
My camera's busted. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It always
All
is.
right. So, does anyone else have anything to say before I end the stream?
I'm surprised with how well Cokeman held it together this whole time. It's great. Fantastic.
He only shot his gun one time. It was fantastic.
I can be reasonable.
All right, so Hook for $5 taking us out of here says, God bless panel, God bless chat, God with us, God for us, signing off. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you had a wonderful night tonight. And with all of that out of the way, gentlemen, we'll see you in the next one.